hello, everybody, and welcome to a live interview here at Behind That Suit featuring the homeboy, Chris Chrome, who,
What's good? What's
I don't know,
good?
for those of you who have watched the channel would probably know Chris Chrome for a quick minute here because, well, the guy's just been in a bunch of reviews and he's just been involved. In fact, what y'all might not know is I don't make the thumbnails. I didn't make that starting soon sign you were just staring at. I sent emails over to Chris over here and go, Chris, I
No,
need
no, they
another
said
thumbnail. And then we just go like that. So I thought it would be fun to just make sure the technology on Twitch works proper, but also to have a little chance to give Chris Chrome his moment to shine. Cause Chris, are you a Montreal rapper?
I am a Montreal rapper. Well, we'll get into that, but I am a Montreal rapper
What do we get into it? It's a yes or no question.
because I don't like to consider myself
That
just as like a rapper.
okay?
Like
So you're a
that's such like
Montreal
a
artist. A Montreal artist.
creator. It's
Okay.
fancy.
So yeah, the answer was yes, everybody. So Chris, being a Montreal artist over here, is basically a qualified person to be up on the interview. Not to say that we're exclusive to Montreal, but let's say the artist or contributor. Or we want to talk to like anybody that is got a story to tell, mostly related to the music scene. But Chris,
Yes, Bonnie,
it's exciting
creator.
for me. It's been a minute, right? Because straight up, COVID came and Chris hasn't been able to come here, mostly because of the law and the complications and all that. Chris, you don't need to chat with the chits. You talk back. We talking at the chat. But yo, if you have
I am getting
questions,
multi-task. I'm not talking. You're
feel
talking.
free feel free to like throw it up in the chat as well. You can do that to everyone watching. And if you're checking this on YouTube, you may as well want to click on twitch.tv/behind that suit. Hit that little follow because you never know who we're going to interview next. But yo, I got like 15 to 20 names on the whiteboard. So stuff finna get lit. Next interview is coming Wednesday, November 11th at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On that note, I think we should get into it. Mr. Christopher. Where are you
Yes.
from? Let's start at the beginning. Let's bring it back. Where are
Yeah.
you from?
So where am I from? I'm born and raised Quebecer. I was born in the South Shore in Delson. I knew this was going to happen. So yeah, you can see my cat there. I apologize. It's because she was climbing up on me. But
No, you planned this because you knew having a cat there would get us some views. Good man.
well, there's that, and I'm not allowed to close the door. The cats are like kids, right? So if they know I'm talking to somebody or they hear me consistently talking, they're gonna want attention too. So I can't really close the door on them. I got three. Anyway, the point is, I was born in Longueuil on the South Shore, and forgot the hospital name, unfortunately. And I lived in Delson for my early ages, literally like infant 1, 2.
And
Yeah.
Delson is just south of Montreal, we can assume.
Well, it's Delson is in the South Shore. South Shore is consisted of like Delson, La Prairie. It's all like the suburbs, basically. I should have said that. It's
So
more the
we'll call
suburban
it
area.
the greater Montreal area, so close a fucking enough. All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I lived there for a little bit, and then my dad actually got a job working for Nike, if I'm not mistaken. But like not Nike directly. He was working for Sneaker Stadium, which was, if again, this is all like I'm probably really off on
It's
this,
okay.
but we ended up moving to the States at a young age.
So you actually
So
went down to the States.
I lived in the States. Yeah, my brother was actually born in the States. So I've
What
lived in the
states?
States, New Brunswick and New Jersey. I lived in the state of New Brunswick and the state of New Jersey.
New Brunswick, as in the Canadian province?
No, there's an actual state called New Brunswick State.
Wait, what?
Or
I know.
I,
Are we
I'm
sure
probably
about
wrong.
this?
We gotta Google that. Let's
Because
Google. We
I'm
gotta
like
Google that.
fairly
All I can
sure
tell
that New
you,
Brunswick, like
I lived
Dakota,
in the state of I lived in the state of
New
Jersey,
Jersey's a state.
right? And then I lived in New Brunswick. That's what my parents kept telling me when I was growing up.
Let's
Honestly, I
just
know it
tech
sounds
New Brunswick. I'm not trying to argue with you, dog.
nah,
I'm just
dude. I'm
saying.
not even. Nah, it's
I
totally
didn't even
fine.
know
It's
there was a
totally
New
fine.
Brunswick.
It's
Okay, so New Brunswick is a city in New Jersey, everyone. New
Then I guess
Brunswick is this
I guess I
is
just lived. I don't
we
know. I
all
always thought,
we all learned together.
honestly, it was so long ago, and it was a part of my life that just it was so simple. Like it was just I was a kid. Like not much really happened. You know, you woke up, you pooed your fucking diaper, you did what you had
All
to
right.
do. You know,
So let's jump ahead just a little bit then. When did you come back to Canada?
oh shit. Grade 3, so I was like 6. I'm born
All
in
right.
November. I'm born
You
in
were
November. So the 29th of November 1993. So um that like the whole school system thing, right? So like because you're born in November, you have to like miss a year or some shit like that. So when I came back to Canada, I was in grade 3. Must have been about 6, 7. Yeah, about 6, 7 if I can remember. But also because there was this whole discussion with like the principals and everything because of the fact that the state's education and schooling system is obviously different than Canada, so they couldn't really like I kind of did grade 3 twice in a
mm.
sense, like once in the states and then once here. But ever since then, I've lived in Canada the rest of my life, and it just kind of blended all together.
So you've basically been in and around the Montreal area ever since, making you a Montreal, can we say it? Creator. That's
I
how we're gonna
think
do this now.
actually, it's funny you say that. There's a really big difference between you and I. I say that because I've known you for so long, and you live in Montreal, and you grew up like in Montreal in that like
That is
island
true. I
area,
did.
right? Right. So, I would consider myself more as like a South Shore kid because it's not this. I find it's not the same thing as the city life. Like for my brain,
Absolutely.
I look at it like Montreal. When you say Montreal, you're thinking like night buses. You're thinking metro, like metro
Mm.
subways. You're
So when
thinking,
I'm that I would agree with you as like a citizen of this area, but for the sake of the bigger
oh no,
conversation
I
to
was
the
gonna bring that
people
up. I
on
was literally gonna say
YouTube and
that.
all that, when I think Montreal, I include Laval, the South Shore.
No,
Hell,
of course, because
Rigaud
I
is
was.
practically Montreal. I mean, it's really not, but it's practically Montreal because it's English and it's somewhere close to Montreal in my head. So it's Montreal-ish.
I mean, for sure, because like I have family in Toronto, right? So every time I go there, they refer to us as the Montrealers. So it's
Mm.
I knew that term. Like I understand where that comes from. I just wanted it to be
So,
like
for the sake of simplicity, you're a Montreal creator. Do you have an American citizenship your lady friend Bonnie would like to know?
not that I know of. No, I don't have an American
You would
citizenship.
you
I
would
think
probably
like
know that.
I would probably know it. I know my brother does. My brother's got two. Like
That's
he's got
fair.
Canadian and American.
All right, so let's move into the music side of life just a little bit. Okay, so Chris, you're in Montreal. You're in grade 3, or sorry, you're in the burbs south of Montreal. When did you get into music? Is this like, are you one of those people where music has just been this presence in your life since you was a young thing, or are you the kind of guy where you didn't really care much for it? Were your parents busting out the classics? Like, bring us back to your childhood and a little bit when music became a force in your world.
I got a question before I answer. When you say music, do you mean music as like a whole, like just music as any genre, or more hip hop?
I'm saying music because it doesn't matter what kind of create dash tour you are. uh you're gonna have a point where you started consuming music and fell in love with it in the first place, right? So
Yeah.
that's the
So
place we're trying to get to.
as far as I can remember, I've always been music. I know that that sentence may not make sense, but I feel like I've always just been surrounded by music. My father's West Indian. My
Okay.
mother, they're both born from Montreal, Montreal, Quebec, whatever. But my father's West Indian. My mother is also half African, or at least island. I just don't know from where exactly. Just never something that ever really brought up, but that's on me. So I feel like my dad and my mom were really, and not that their background or culture has anything to do with it, but I feel like they did play a lot of music while growing up. Like it was just a thing.
All
And my
right.
dad just
What's it?
always had music playing.
So, there's a new question I want to start asking everybody, and you're gonna be
Yeah.
the first victim of this.
Nice.
I realized recently that club bangers. So whatever's a club banger today, it's basically mom cleaning music one day, right? Because if you think about it, whatever your mom was bumping when she was cleaning up, that's what she was dancing to in the club, because that was that turn up energy and whatnot. So I'm curious to know what were some of the mom cleaning bangers, and by virtue maybe your dad's version of that you grew up with, that would have been like shit you heard all the time.
My mom, my dad's a really hard question. I mean, my dad wasn't really like a cleaning banger. Mostly my
Fair
mom
enough.
really cleaned, right? Um, my dad, I'm gonna start with my dad first. A lot of it was like just hip hop radio, American radio, like Sirius XM, trying to get satellite radios and stuff like that. So because he was always in the hip hop scene. He was growing up. He was like DJing. He was in the clubs. He was this that. So my
So
love
your
for
dad
hip
was a
hop.
DJ.
My dad was DJ for his school for like 3 years. He ran the school student body. He was like, my dad is like, he was on sports. He's like the super cool kid, techie nerd guy. Like, he knows everything of everything for no absolute reason. Like,
Okay.
he'll play soccer with you, and then in the middle of a soccer game, if you're like, yo, Robert, what's going on with my computer? He'll just stop the game and be like, what's happening? Because I can build your computer. Well, there was a time that my dad could probably build computers blindfolded. So like, he's always just been that type, and I strive to be like that a lot. Actually, not even a little bit, a lot. So a lot of my music from him, I guess, was hip hop, just kind of who he was. He wasn't really in the streets, but living in Longueuil wasn't like the easiest for him. So yeah, there's that kind of where that comes from. I got a lot of his music from the car radio though.
And your
So
mom, the cleaning bangers.
all R&B, Usher, Luther
Mm.
Vandross, that I forget his name, but the big black guy who won American Idol.
Ruben.
Yeah,
Ruben
Ruben
stuttered.
stuttered. Yo, Ruben stuttered. So, just a quick tangent. That was like a real bonding moment for me and my mom. Like a real serious bonding moment for me and my mother, because she has this weird love of music, but like has no idea what music is. But she just knows what sounds good and what is good and what makes her vibe and stuff, right? So we were watching like American Idol growing up and all that shit, and she was like falling in love with Ruben Studdard, and I called it. I was like, he's gonna win. She's like, nah, I love him, but I don't think so. I'm like, he's gonna win. He ended up winning, and I swear to you, like the day his album came out, she bought it, and we were just listening to it on repeat for like 4 hours. Like we just back and forth, like we were just both there, so content, and it was such a real connecting moment with my mother. It was super cool. Um, yeah, but I wanted to also say something with that. I think, because you said, can you just re-say your question again?
What's your mom's cleaning bangers?
No. The original question that you're gonna ask everybody. Something
That
about
was it.
like the clubs.
That was the question. The club songs that turn into cleaning bangers. They're the same songs.
So I feel like that in itself also has to do with like eras and age and shit. Cause like my mom is like 50 something. And when my mom, I feel was in like in the era of clubs and times like that, right? There was a certain vibe for her and like the women, I guess, around her and stuff like that they really felt was super cool, right? And as they got older, music that sounds like that ends up being like that. Because my mom right now,
That's
if
what
you
I'm
throw on,
saying.
no, but
That's the whole.
wait, hold on. So what I'm trying to say is like the club back, like, and it depends on the club you go to, right? Like there's some clubs that have like specific type of banger music, and some clubs like the heavy gangster banger music, depending on where you go. So if I throw on a gangster heavy banger club, whatever you want to consider it, my mom's gonna be like, turn that shit down.
But
Nah, nah,
my
nah.
point, my point is, what was your mom's club bangers?
But
Because
that's what
yo,
I'm saying. But
but
that's what I'm
that,
trying to say. So
but
like this
but
club banger,
it's implied that everything is going to be relative, right? So
right.
that's the reason the question is what it is, because it was this epiphany I had where I realized everybody who grew up and listened to whatever when they were 20 dancing around, whatever that may be, is likely what they're going to be throwing on to find energy when they're 35. That's it. So you're absolutely correct that it's going to be a super relative thing. That's
Yeah.
why it was your mom's, which was R&B. That's what she was vibing to. Trust, my mom had disco. My mom's
But like
bumping the disco,
she
so she
also
would throw on
had
the disco. My
she
dad
also
liked
had a lot
Zeppelin
of
and
like
shit.
radio though. Like her preference was R&B and like that type of smoother stuff. But like she'd also put on the radio. So like one day in my teens, she was like, "Oh, you know that song with Wiz Khalifa?" And I'm like, "What?" And to be clear, my mom is like straight edge. She don't smoke, she don't
Well,
drink,
I
she
mean,
don't.
Wiz
So
Khalifa was everywhere.
no, but I'm saying like I know that, but I'm saying more like for my mom to turn around and ask me about Wiz Khalifa, it's like, okay, you really do just like music off the radio. Like you don't really go searching for music that what you like. You just aimlessly listen to the radio and then you like what you like. Cause I'll show you a bunch of Wiz Khalifa tracks that you won't
Yeah,
like.
but are they all young, wild, and free? Because I'm pretty sure that was
No,
the
it
song.
was it was the one with S Club 7 or fucking
So
Maroon
you're
5.
saying, okay, but they did a song with Maroon 5. You do a song with Maroon 5, and every mom in the world is going to be on board for a minute in that era. Um, anyway, all I'm trying to say is that's all like it was just an interesting question to me at least because I think it's part of like that musical history and that musical journey that like leads you towards your own taste and preferences. It all kind of starts with childhood and whatnot.
But I
Bonnie
think
over
there's
there in the comments is asking if they ever took you to concerts.
my very oh shit. Oh
Okay, what
shit.
is
Give me
it?
a second. Give me a second.
How
Wait,
is it?
wait.
Well, I, we'll
My
have a.
my very first concert was Rihanna.
All right,
Ever.
Riri,
My dad took me to go see Rihanna at the
the Bell Center.
the inflatable higher air balloons that go in the thing with the fire in the air. Les mots
Okay,
gonflables. The hot
okay.
air balloon festival.
I don't know what that is, but that's cool.
Oh, anyway, so she was performing at the Quebec hot air balloon festival, and that was my very first. I know that was my very first concert. After that, my mom took me to go see Usher for my birthday.
Usher's fun.
I
I mean,
mean, it was fun. I
definitely
think
not what you would expect from most men
not,
to have as
nah,
their
but you
concert
know what?
trajectory, but
You
fair
know
enough.
what? You know what? Actually, I think it was a really cute thing because my mom, like again, me and my mom have hard time kind of connecting with certain things. So her closest thing to rap is Yeah by Usher with Ludacris and Little John.
Mm,
So she's like, and because she always played it in the car, I mean, I can recite like not right now because I have not listened to it in a decade, but
it's
I
also
can like
maybe
I was
bad for
able to
copyright.
for sure. But I was able to like recite and sing along. So she really and I had a blast. I had a blast. It was a great performance. Usher does a great
I
performance.
think everybody can vibe to "You Remind Me." That's all I'm trying to say.
That is true. That is true.
Um, Fair enough. So with concerts, we have this general sense your parents love music. It's around. I guess a lot of radio is in your life, which is what it is because we all grew up with
Not
that. I
just
think.
not just that. Not just that. So my mom's best friend is Bayesian from Barbados and all that island, and we're like really close with that family too. Like her best friend is my aunt. Like you can't get any closer when an older woman like wipes your ass as a kid. So I
That's
call her
probably
mom
true.
and everything. Yeah, she's an amazing person. Uh, they were always playing dance hall and reggae and all that genre. So I had like that growing up in my life too. So music for me was everywhere. My grandmother used to listen to country. So like even just sitting in a car with my grandmother trying to ignore it, it's like you can't ignore the different guitar sounds, the pianos, which is where I developed my love for piano, was all the country music my grandmother not forced me, but like just like to listen to.
Fair enough. So when did you decide I'm gonna start being a rapper? Sorry, a creator.
Well, we can start with rapper first. The creator was only around when I met you, to be honest. Back in like whatever 5 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever. But it's a really kind of complicated, twisted story. So
Well, the beautiful part of this is we have all the time in the world to walk through your beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy. Hashtag
Beautiful,
Kanye.
right?
Okay,
So
quick
my
question.
father,
Do y'all
yeah.
think Kanye has a chance in 2024? Do y'all
Fuck that.
think?
I don't even care. I
Or
don't even care. Nah. It's about me now. It's about me now. Fuck Kanye. He gets enough press and enough like publicity for being psycho. No, I'm good. So okay, one thing I do want to discuss is because my dad is visibly black. Like when you look at my family, the four of us, me, my brother, my mom, and my dad, he's the token black guy. He stands out. And before I actually started grilling him and getting a lot of answers of like where I come from and stuff like that and my history, I always tried to figure out, like not figure out, but I kind of really always associated myself as like a black guy, as like that's who I am. I'm part of that culture. And it's kind of twisted because for me, the only real way that I was able to get that culture was through MTV, was through 106 and Park on BET, which personally is a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it did allow me to open up my mind and expand my view growing up as a kid on all these things. I used to watch like the Marlon twins, right? No, the Wayne brothers or whatnot, their show too. So and Fresh Prince, and I was always trying to be in with like the black crowd, right? Um, I say that because my love for hip hop and becoming a rapper came from this stupid, stereotypical, superficial, social media pushed bullshit. Black people become rappers. Like
mm,
I don't want to say that and get killed for it. Like I'm not trying to say that. I know
I
many.
mean, if your story is I saw on TV that black people were supposed to become rappers, I identified as being black, I wanted to become a rapper.
I
How
mean,
is that
so
anything that's controversial? That is your
I'm just
story.
I'm just I'm just really making sure like the point is out there that I'm not trying to say like this is what I believe because I don't believe that. I know a lot of like successful black
I
people who
think you're
don't even
just
rap.
saying that were as an impressionable young person influenced by the mass marketing efforts that maybe a lot of people
But not
felt
just that.
susceptible
Hold on, hold
to.
on, hold on. But not just that, right? So like I said, my father also used to listen to like Sirius XM. So there was a lot of like rappy stuff there. Plus, my dad liked Rakim, MC Hammer, Mos Def. And so he did listen to this DMX, Where My Dog's At, and
That's a good song.
Stop, Drop, Shot. What? Stop,
Rough
Drop.
Riders Anthem. Don't sing it. Don't sing
It's
it.
not Rough Riders. That's not Rough
That's
Riders,
Rough Riders
is it?
Anthem.
Okay, my
It
bad, my bad.
is.
So anyway, that was playing in my life too. So there was essence of hip hop everywhere, and that's kind of just what I gravitated to. The look, the way that like the whole P Diddy era when he was like taking over and everybody looked like that and all the flashy shit. That's kind of what I was brainwashed to think it really was, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was hard. I'm not the hardest kid. A lot of my music is super emotional. A lot of my music is super psychological. Um, has a lot of dream essence to it. Has a lot of spiritual essence. Has a lot of love, romance. When I say violence, it's more like dark thoughts, suicidal thoughts. Violence in terms of like toxic relationships and shit like that. You know, times that I've been a certain way as a man or even as a young man growing up. So that's kind of who I always been. I'm not this tough guy on the street. I don't come from that life. To be clear, I come from I don't come from rags to riches. My story is the opposite. I come from riches to rags. Like it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. But I'm actually proud to say that because I come from, my own bedroom, plasma screen TV in my house, like Super Nintendo the day it came out, PlayStation 1 the day it came out. My dad had all this shit. I had like 3 cars all the time. Every year there was like three new cars. I was in drop tops with my father. I had the ability like some kids are like, oh, you gotta open the door. My dad was like letting me and my brother jump over the whip like gangsters and shit, like just super cool. We were like renting games all the time. I had all like life was good for me,
Mm.
but that's not what I wanted. Like
You
in
didn't
some
want life to
real,
be good.
it's not that I didn't want life to be good. It's just I grew up spoon fed and not taught how to spoon feed myself.
Okay.
And that's like deeper for the people who think I'm being simplistic, who listen to this. I'm not talking about like I can't feed myself. I cook, I clean, I take care of my life. I know I'm still here. I'm 26, so I did it. But like, bro, I still have problems calling the doctor to make a fucking appointment, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I know, you know, like as most millennials, we probably do, which is fine. But I don't think that is appropriate. I think at a certain point you should be able to do that. And I didn't really have that. My dad tried to really put me on the like, you're independent shit. But then every time I started doing independent stuff, it kind of just felt like, well, no, that's not what we want you to do. Like, I don't feel like I got much support. And that goes into another conversation of me having ADHD. But to full circle all of this, because I know I went on a tangent with the music and becoming a rapper, I related to them. When they talk about the struggle on the streets,
Which rappers? Which rappers?
Dude, anybody. Lil Wayne, Eminem. I had Lil Wayne, Eminem, Young Jeezy. I had P. Diddy. I had, you know, the old school Tupac tracks that we were playing. I had fucking Chameleonaire. I had Eminem. I had Dr. Dre. Like,
big question. Let's go. Big question. So you're like what? Let's say like what? 16, 17? No, at this point.
Whoa. No.
How old were you at this point when you're like being inspired by all these rappers
12,
and you decide?
12. I was.
Okay, so you're like. So you're like 12.
Okay, hold on. Like, at 12 years old, I had the Eminem Encore album. I requested that for my birthday.
Fresh.
Explicit.
Did you get the explicit version?
Yeah, bro. My dad gave me the explicit. Yo,
right.
My dad was like, fine, we'll get it.
So the question is, how did you consume the music? Were you bumping albums back then, or was it singles?
Nah,
was it like, yo, this track's hot, this track's... Because you would have had like iPods and all that crap by then, right? Like you were like...
I had an MP3. I had like a blue little MP3 thing that I had to like press buttons on the side and shit. But yeah, no. How do I say this? I'm gonna go back to the social media, not the social media, but like the MTV stuff. I consumed music that way. So whatever had a music video. Well, that was the only way I could. Like, I didn't have you, like, probably I did have YouTube, but like, I didn't really know many artists like that to be going on YouTube and searching. I can't even remember when YouTube came out anymore. I'm probably sure I had it at 12, most likely.
I believe it's 2006.
Yeah, so I probably had it at 12. I'm not even like...
But like, also, YouTube back then was something that was a little more college age, so it makes sense that like kids wouldn't be all up on YouTube.
Fair. So whatever like music I liked, bumped to, the music video for sure, if it was appealing to me, I definitely liked it. If it was hard, you know, the swearing came only when I downloaded it from LimeWire, right? Because it's like you can't hear the swearing in the video, so you're like, yeah, you and my me and my me, and all these weird blocks and shit, and then you'd listen to the real track, and then I'm in the living room as a young kid with my dad sleeping, and I'm like, me and my, you and my, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, dude, as a young impressionable kid, you kind of just sing along, and you don't really know what the words mean, or you're not really as informed in what certain words mean.
Most 12-year-olds know what the word fucking bitch means, Chris. Okay, 12-year-olds know what that means.
I'm talking like more severe words. I'm talking
what's more severe? You know what? Let's not go there because we don't want to get clipped on a live video.
Thank you. Let's just...
Yo, what's up, CB Mac? That's dope.
CB Mac, hey, what up, buddy?
Yo, that's fresh. That's dope. Anyway, just seeing people in the comments. If you have questions along the way, always feel free to drop them. And if you're watching this on YouTube and hear me keep saying this, make sure you on the Twitch stream next time because that's how we're doing this moving forward.
Now,
and if you guys,
I do go on. My bad.
No. Let's move back to you. So you have your singles.
I want to say
what do you want to talk about? What else do you want to say?
Because it's a really interesting topic, right? So, like, I'm dropping N-bombs at the age of 12 in my house, right? Right?
Okay.
Now,
all right. So that's the word we meant. Okay. I didn't
listen.
know that that's the word we meant. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I
understand now.
Shut up. Let me say this. So, I say shut up because you're like a brother to me. So I'm not trying to be rude here.
I'm smiling. Nobody thought I was mad.
Fair. you have to understand, one, I grew up with don't say that word because of my skin complexion, right?
That's fair.
My issue is you don't live my life and you don't see what I see. I wake up in the morning to a black man black man feeding me, a black man taking care of me, who's and not to say that he's like married to my mom, or like a stepfather. This is my biological dad. So in my brain, I'm black. And at 26, I've come to agree that black and white mixed means you're black. You're not just white. You're mixed or you're black. And I don't even consider mixed. I consider black, and that's a whole different conversation. But so for me, one of the biggest things was I'm dropping N-bombs at the age of 12, and my dad kind of addressed it in a really smart way. He was like, "Do you know what that word means?" I'm like, "No, it's just cool to say because the rappers are saying it, right? I'm influential. The rappers are saying it." So he forces me to look up the word. And I was dropping ERs. So that's even worse on my part. That's even worse on my part. And I know that. And I made amends with that. I made amends with that.
I'm going to have to say in this case, I agree with you. Being a kid, you didn't know what the fuck that meant.
Oh, of course. But I just want people to also know that Chris Chrome is maturing, is always learning, is always trying to be a better person, acknowledges his past mistakes, acknowledges what type of dipshit influential idiot kid he was. And I want that clear, especially moving into 2021 with all this fucking nonsense we deal with and people getting canceled and everything. That's partially why I'm kind of afraid to like drop an album, but we'll get into that a little later. But that's like there's a lot in my brain and I'm pretty much fucked up when it comes to this. Yo, just remind me, CB Mac, you feel me on what? Because I'm like super
this is about,
like out there.
You were describing at the time growing up with a black father, being mixed, and the confusion of your identity related to that, and then that's when the comment appeared.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, damn, bro, I want to talk to you about that, CB Mac. Seriously, like, I love talking to people who kind of who understand that view because
there's nothing to stop you from being in the next CB Mac interview.
Yes, let's go, let's get it. I'm down to have this convo. But no, like I was saying,
keep it running, like, Chris.
So that's and my dad addressed it because story time in grade 5 or 4, I called my friend who was, he was a black guy. I called him the N-bomb, dropped it on him. And that's because for me, and I know that now, for me, I didn't see it as I used it as a threat. Like not a threat, but I used it offensively. I know because I remember the way it came out of my mouth. I remember the way I felt because he did something to me. He like pushed me. But you know what I did also? I mumbled it. Like I dropped it, but I was like, but so low, and he heard, and he was like, yo, what? So then he snitched, all that stuff, and I got addressed, all that stuff, and my dad kind of just went, the real word in the dictionary and forced me to look it up is ignorant. He's like, you know what the word ignorant means? I'm like, no. He goes, it means you're uneducated, you're stupid, light terms, layman terms, or you're unaware, not stupid, you're unaware of certain things of what's happening around you or whatnot. So basically, you're a and I sat there in my shoes quivering when my dad said that to me. To this day, as a man, my father and I, when we go back and forth at it, and I want to say this, my dad wasn't really around a lot. He was on a lot of business trips. He went to Germany, went to Japan, went to China. He France, anywhere. He'd been around the world. That's kind of what I feel like. Maybe he wasn't really around for my mom, which led up to their divorce when I was 12, which kind of caused a bit of issues in my life too. So I'll let you know that as well later. But without my dad being around and stuff, I kind of hold a lot of resentment towards him because I don't feel like he really raised me. So that's why I'm very, very independent. But at the same time, I'm just going to take off my sweater because I am dying of heat. This is some real conversation. This is some real honesty.
Listen, I wasn't expecting this. I
This is
mean,
some real shit.
we're about we're about 35 minutes into the
Oh, bro!
actual interview part.
Every interview you've had is done right now. I'm breaking the record. CB Mac, I love you, respect, brother. You don't
Okay,
know,
if that's
but
the
your
case,
230
and
is
what's up to the new viewer? If that's the case, I'm not. I know this is terrible. I gotta go pee. So you gotta hold it down for like 1 minute, and I'll be right back.
All right, I got this, guys. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of self promo. My new Throwaways tracks are out on Spotify. You can check me out at Chris Chrome. You should see me there, updated. Should be all there. If you want to follow me on YouTube, you can look up Chris Chrome. I know that there is somebody else there, but he seems to be like some type of gaming type of guy. He's got like a little unicorn thing. So you can check me out on YouTube at Chris Chrome. And some of the music videos I actually made by myself were there to my first couple of songs. If you don't have access to YouTube or Spotify, my bad, Spotify, then you can definitely check out my SoundCloud, Chris Chrome 93, or just Chris Chrome. I have like, it's one of the for like the to getting it to the page. You can definitely check that out, and you can listen to all my stuff on there. The Throwaways 1, 2, 4. And all the other tracks I made on SoundCloud. But really, guys, I just wanted to ask a question. How's everybody doing with the lockdown? How's everybody doing with like just being alone? If you are alone, how are you doing with, your partner? Are you guys going through some stress? Are you guys finding that you're fighting more, fighting less? Are you reconnecting? How's your family? I'm a big advocate of mental health. Not that I show a lot of it on social media, just because I think it's a very touching subject. A lot of what I do is just make sure everybody's good and make sure everybody's holding it down. But just keep safe, guys. Everybody be safe, and remember to check my stuff out. And trust me, there's going to be a lot more to come.
That's fair. I don't know what I missed. I just feel like insightful stuff was said. I see CB Mac's been chatting, so I did
some self promo and made sure everybody was all good. Don't worry, I got it. Remember, I used to do the podcast.
So my real question for the world is, and maybe it's
where were
question.
we? So where were we? I was
like, how the fuck do people do like 6-hour streams without peeing? I don't know. That's like my biggest fucking bane. Is the urine situation.
That was the problem back when we used to do the podcast. You wouldn't just let me go pee, and then we'd have to like all this stuff and we should just do what we got to do, bro. We're real humans. Like, everybody does it. Look at Joe Rogan. He literally just gets up and like, yo, I got to piss, so just talk.
Yeah, I thought about that bucket, CB Mac. I thought about it. But I mean, the other hand was we were also often fighting time limits. And when you're fighting time limits,
CB
sometimes
Mac,
you gotta hold
shut up, hold it. CB Mac, thank you for the sub on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. I'm definitely going to go after this interview and follow you. I got to stay focused if I do too many things.
You should. You guys share a spot on the same album, but that's a little getting ahead of ourselves.
I am so excited. I'm so excited.
Back to what you were talking about before. I think you were still loaded up on the issues with your father.
So the issues with my dad. So whenever we eat, right. So to this day, and he actually said this sometime this week, we were having this big old kind of argument because I went to, so I'm going to snitch on myself. I'm going to snitch on myself.
Snitch.
I'm going to snitch on myself, but I'm also, it's a learning point that I think people need to understand for both me, people like me, and the people in the world right now that is dealing with. So we're all dealing with COVID. We're all dealing with the lockdown. We all got rules, right? Pretty much everybody somewhere sort of has got rules. So here's me, and I'm like, got to go to the bank, got to go deposit a check, got to go deal with my money, whatever. And as I go, I'm kind of in a bad mood. It's not the greatest of days, but that's not anybody's business, whatever. There's a lineup at the bank, right? Like, you know which bank I'm talking about, fam, on Sherbrooke, RBC.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nice building one, like the one that looks like it's some old, like it's like some archaic sculpted shit.
Exactly. So as you go in, right, there's the ATMs, right? So I'm there, I got my earphones, I'm ignoring everybody, got my mask, being all safe and shit. And I see a lineup, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's people wanting to use. Let me be respectful, 6 feet, 10 feet, 6 feet distance, stay the fuck away from me. And then I turn around, And I'm like, yo, let me just check the ATM because I don't even got to talk to a teller. So I go up to the ATM. As I'm walking up, woman comes out and she's like, back of the line, like in my face, bro. And I was just like, oh, okay. Now, I'm all like disoriented, kind of like, yo, what's happening? So just looking all stupid. She's like, oh, you want the machine? It's over there. And I'm just sitting there. First moment, I'm like, okay, whatever. Ignore it. Bite your tongue, Chris. You know, it's good. It's calm. But I'm sitting there like, yo, a little respect. Like a little, like you don't even like a little bit of respect. But that's fine. That's fine. You're angry. You've been dealing with some shit. You got some shit on your plate. Cool. Peace and love, sister. Do what you got to do. Cool. My issue is, so now I'm in the bank. I'm taking out the money. I'm doing my shit. Some older woman, respect to all older women, older, and I'm talking like 67 years old, comes in and she's like blasting me at the ATM. And I have no idea what's happening. So she's like, who are you? Who do you think you are? What are you special? Just cut in front of the line? No. And I'm sitting there like, wait, what? What is going on? So I'm like, whatever, I ignore it. I get my money, boom, 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 whatever. And as I'm about to leave, she's still mumbling under her breath. So I kind of got a little petty. And I turn around and I go, you know, take it from the special kid. You might want to like analyze the situation before you start uselessly complaining and bitching to people about things you don't know. And then I walk away, right? My fault. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have said shit. I should have been more respectful. I was an asshole. I know. So here's where the point of the story comes in. My father comes in, right? Tell him the story. He's not impressed because he knows I'm smarter than that. He knows I'm better than that. He rubs it in my face. He's like, you were the one who looked and saw if anybody was at the ATM. So clearly you're fucking smart. I was like, yeah. He's like, so why'd you even acknowledge it? Why did you even do anything? Why? Like, we're dealing with difficult times. And I'm like, but that's why I did. I wasn't going to let nobody like push me over despite whatever you deal with, right? Like despite age, this, that, next thing. And I made a comment. I was like, people right now are so like on edge, and like the lack of like just respect and logic and just moral decency is so gone. Cause I was like, yo, I could have been anybody. Like I could have been, you know what I mean? Like, and my dad wasn't impressed to hear that, right? Like I could have been anybody who just decided, yo, I ain't taking your disrespect and just clock you one. Not saying I would ever do that. Hell no.
Hold on. But are you like in your imagination beating the fuck out of old women
for
disrespecting you?
Nah. I'm saying, because the idea came to a more bigger idea with the thought. See, my problem with my ADHD is I'll take something so small and then my brain will just create these fucking things and then like run around kind of like how Kanye does it. And I just figure out all these different situations and I'm like, these are the different outcomes that could have happened. And sometimes I'm like, wow, people are super lucky that I'm a puss. Like, and I say this
that's good. Don't say that word. I think it's on the go. Just so that you're aware, we looked it up. There are words that are banned on Twitch, and they are the ones that refer to like gender and race.
Okay,
so it's good that you caught yourself. Hold up. Since we interrupted you, Chris, we have 8 live viewers right now. This is a Behind That Suit Twitch record. Look at you bringing the people in. Okay, back to you, Chris.
So
also like, for you new viewers, let us know what questions you have for Mr. Chrome in the comments.
So to full circle this, because I'm like going on a tangent and
love it. Keep tangenting. You're dropping wisdom on the motherfuckers.
My father, love him to death. Respectable man, honorable man, humble man, loyal man. He looks at me and he goes, Chris, if I got mad at every single person who called me a ER, I'd be bald. I laughed because he's kind of going bald now because there's this old age. But he's like, the only reason I started getting gray hairs is because of you and your brother. Imagine if I let all of these dumb idiots who were calling me the ER get to me. What the fuck, child? And I'm sitting there like, oh, and when he says that word, it's like, ugh. It's like when Killer Mike says it. It's like when Ice Cube drops it. It's like when all these rappers
What do you mean by that? I don't know what that means.
We've done multiple reviews and have had discussions multiple times. Okay, I love Damon. I love Damon, and this is the only
let's
one
not
that's popping
bring
in my
up that.
head.
Let's not bring that up.
No. But remember that? No, you remember that?
Say it without names, but yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And
Okay,
how you
so
turned
for
you
context to everybody,
no,
one of our early podcasts, because we're having the conversation in front of people, Chris, we have to give them the context.
I'm not trying to
So
be a dick to anybody. I love her. It's just because you said something that is the answer.
So basically,
Hold it down while I get a cigarette.
So just to bring y'all up to speed while Chris runs off, we had a podcast where somebody had a feeling about the use of the word, like they were the jury as to when it could be said and when it could not be said, and it was just completely random, like their feelings were driving it. So I believe that is what we are referring to in context of the situation, is when it could be appropriate. So like there is that, just to kind of bring you up to speed, because I know none of y'all were there with us when that went down. Anyhow, so much
love. I say so much love sent out to her.
Let's move past her.
You said it's like I kind of remember clearly. You were like, but that's the point of why they say the word like that. It's not to be. It's the point to make you feel cringy. It's to make you feel like, oh shit, like that word disgusts me. Like I should never say that. And that was the same tone and the same fierce energy my dad used in that one word. And then he instantly turned back to, you understand my point, Chris? And I was just like, holy shit, being a father is fucked. Being a father is super fucked. And being a father to, and here's something I'm also going to say, because my brain is like that. Being a black father to two white kids, when the whiter kid is acting, let's say, more black, is so fucking difficult. Because for my dad, he looks at me and he's like, I know what you see. I know what you're looking at. But my dad doesn't come from that life. So when I show him Lil Wayne, when I show him this, that, and the next thing, I'm like, but look at these guys. He comes back and he goes, yeah, look at Rakim with his pants up. Okay. And I'm like, shit. Because I had an era where my pants were sagging, and sometimes they still do.
Okay, I have to interject. Chris, that era never ended. Your pants have sagged like for every fucking time you showed up in the apartment. We make fun of you behind your back about your pants sagging. I'll like, yo, that's right, they still do.
Yo,
that's
Mumsy,
fucking funny.
Mumsy.
That's all I'm saying. It's true. We say it to behind his. It's like a running joke. I'll pull my pants down sometimes just to do that, and we call it the Chris Chrome.
No. The funniest thing, because you said that, the funniest thing. So my grandmother is like the gangster of gangsters in my family, right?
Oh, don't worry. I'll say it to his face. Chris, pull up your pants.
Yo,
I'm saying it right now on this podcast.
Yes. Shout out to Wendy, Algo, and all the other names. Like, shout out to my mother. Damn straight, best woman alive. Quick story. This is like my adoptive mother.
Is the one you brought up earlier in the podcast?
No, that's my biological mother. This woman.
No, you said you brought up the adopted one, or the other mother. You brought her up earlier.
Well, because I've told you about her before. She's a mother. She's a woman I met at work. The reason why I really look up to this woman. The reason why I really look up to this woman is because I myself. And my mother do have a really kind of complex relationship. I started off and preface it with, you fuck with my mother, you die. That's instant. And that's I think for everybody, right? But me and my mom ourselves, we got a lot of connecting to do and a lot of discussions to have, because we were very toxic with each other.
Totally have those discussions. Okay.
Oh, of course.
So let's go back to music just a little bit, so that we don't go like too deep back. So you were like 12 and discovering Lil Wayne and discovering your identity, and it's complex, and whether or not you can say certain words and whatnot. Fair enough.
Lil Wayne discovering that eating pussy was the best thing in the world.
I mean,
sorry, we can bleep that. I shouldn't have said it.
I think you can probably get away with that one. I mean, I just assume. But let's just stop there for a second. When you have 20 years of hip hop where they basically brag about how they don't licky anything, honestly, Lil Wayne stole the show when he started making records bragging about performing that action with great fervor and desire, because all of a sudden you have a rapper who's like, I'll give back. And I just imagine that was a highly impactful thing, given
I
the
wanna state
ratio
that.
of male to female Lil Wayne fans that there are. That guy has done quite well with the female audience in a way where a lot of men maybe have failed. Um,
I want to state that in a way, I connected so much with Lil Wayne because of his emotions and his emotional
okay.
side.
He does
Um,
have that side, and it's really awesome to see.
Granted, I was always into the whole, Lil Wayne being a blood and gang stuff and making money and $100 million and all that. That's like my favorite track growing up. But Lil Wayne, the way he gave back in sexual pleasure to women, and the way he was so gangster about it, and the way that he was just like, I'm here to please you, in a way that he was like, listen, I know it's gonna take me 4 minutes to nut. Let me do what I gotta do to please you, and then then we can have some more time. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, be real with me. Until like you really are getting into it, that's when you're like going at it. But generally, bro, I'll be honest with myself. Most men don't really last that fucking long. I'm sorry. It's
So
the
I
truth.
would.
So if
So
you
my
think
thoughts
about
were a
it,
little different.
it's
Hold
like,
on.
yo, I'm out
Can
here
I
making
can
sure
I
you feel
interject for a
good,
quick
you
second?
are happy, and then
What if
I just need a quick little 1-2 and we're good.
I thought it more like Lil Wayne was very inebriated and it didn't work as often as he might wanted, so he compensated in his own other way. But this is
Yes,
not where I
fingers and
expected this
tongues,
to.
yo. That's how
This is
it
just the
goes.
strangest tangent point.
Yo,
So
bro.
let's.
Oh, speaking of fingers and tongues, so Chris Crone's story back in the day when I was like stupid kid. I have like some weird oral fixation. That's why I probably smoke so much or like chew on pens
This
and
is
shit, right?
awesome.
So as a kid, I used to chew on straws. And you know that little string thing here? Like right there? Yeah. So that instantly cut. So I was able to like touch my nose with my tongue and shit, and my tongue like goes down to here. So trust me, tongue game on point, fam.
All right. Now the world knows. The whole world knows, including Chris's other mom. So that's all I'm
Oh, she.
saying. I'm just trying to like move the conversation past Chris's fixation here.
Go
Let's
ahead.
let's go back to the music. I mean, it's fascinating that Lil Wayne has. That's fair. I like that Algo Cerise person. She's fantastic.
She's
Um,
fantastic. You'll meet her soon.
but all I'm saying is, it is interesting to me that you kind of got that lesson from Wayne, because I wonder how many people realized how much free game Wayne was giving away all this time.
Well, so to
But
be
okay,
real, I'm also, but I say that because that's who I am. Like that's who I like. I am just a giving person. Forget the sexual shit. I'm just a giving person. I want to make sure people are taken care of. I want to make sure people got what they need. I'll give you my jacket off my back in the middle of fucking winter just so you can like be warm. I've done that,
so
by the way.
is the lesson here that Lil Wayne taught you to be a giving sexual partner?
Nah, Lil Wayne taught me in a way. Well, Eminem was like literally the first guy I resonated to because white rapper, super
I
dope.
don't think
Fine.
Eminem taught any of us to be loving sexual
I'm not
partners.
saying he taught us. I'm saying I'm saying Eminem is literally the first rapper that, because remember I said it back before. My first album ever was the Eminem Encore album. I demanded to have at 12 at my birthday.
Yes, that
So
did
like
happen.
Eminem is like the first dude, but Lil Wayne, I was just sitting there and I was like, yo, this guy is so emotional and he's so different because he's talking about giving back. All these rappers are like, yo, give me that. Yo, give me that. Do this for me. Give me this. I send her and come her back here with the money and nah. And Lil Wayne's like, yeah, I'll send you there. I'll send her to you. She'll bring me back the money, but then I'm going to treat her nicely like she deserves and then buy her a Birkin. It's like the act of treating women great, and what I learned about treating women great came from Lil Wayne at a young age. And then all the other rappers, Jay-Z and like all these other Black and all these other rappers who like really discuss about um you know like being kings and queens and respecting women and really like putting them on that like throne that they deserve to be on. That just increased. That was like a love for me, and I connect with all of that, which also energized and fueled and sparked my emotional rap that I make all the time. It's something that I'm connected to. And I think the reason why is because I've grown up super heavily medicated on Ritalin and Concerta. And for about, what is it, 13 to like 12 to 13 years of my life, I feel like my entire brain was kind of like on pause. So when I decided at 18 that I was no longer going to take it because I started self-medicating with weed and just kind of going down that road, which also hip hop and, influenced me to smoke weed too. I'm going to say that I was, all the rappers are smoking weed.
Can I just say hip hop honestly influenced me to smoke weed? Like whatever anybody wants to say, like 80% of my curiosity from pot came from shit like smoke weed every day.
Yeah, like Stay High from 3 6 Mafia, Juicy J, and all that. So
banging track,
banger. But like, that was. But that's cool that we said that because those were all the tracks at 12 years old, 13 years old, before I started getting heavily into smoke and herb, that like I would download off of LimeWire.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I would go and be like, oh, this is a banger. Go to LimeWire, download the banger that I like from MTV, 106 and Park, whatever, Rap City, all that stuff. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, well, next track. And then I would go by titles. If the title of the track looked cool or had an offensive name or something, I kind of knew that track was going to be a banger.
And then I appreciate that.
I would download the tracks with the funky names. And then it's some like weird, funky, emotional track. And I'm like, this is also a sleeper though. Like this is hype. So that's kind of like where I got a lot of the inspiration and a lot of that from that. But yeah, next question.
All right. Okay, so all of that, I don't know where we're at anymore.
My brain just runs, dude.
When did you start making music then? So like, when is the first time Chris Chrome, I don't even know if he was Chris Chrome back then, picked up probably a pen and pad, maybe because he's a youth. He picked up a doc file on his phone.
Grade
notes.
7, secondary 1 on a pen and paper in detention. And I skipped school for this girl. She was sick, so I ended up skipping school.
CB Mac does want to know if you're making a track.
Very soon. Just a lot's been going on, honestly.
The answer is yes. Back to your story, Chris.
I skipped school for a girl, and I got detention, and I had nothing to do, stuck in those 4 fucking walls, and they were like, do your work. I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do my work. So I wrote bars. And It was about my day in between 4 walls.
So you would write tracks about the anxiety of being trapped in a school system that you didn't appreciate or want to be a part of.
That came years after, yes, but I think a lot of the tracks came from dreams and nightmares that I had. The song Nightmare that I released with Damon is one of the songs from actually way back when.
So to be clear, that shit's available on his YouTube channel and whatnot.
YouTube and SoundCloud.
And is way farther along in the story.
Actually,
that's really interesting. So like straight up, yeah, but there's more viewers here now than when you promoted that. But straight up, what's interesting to me is that's amazing. I really like the comment that we got there. Oh my God, you're making it out to be like he was not just trying to get laid. And Lolo, okay, I'm gonna be quiet. He's way further down the road since now we gotta stop. Okay, we gotta stop and ask the question. Was Chris a little horn dog when he was 13 trying to write rhymes in the class?
Wise? Fuck.
I mean,
fair enough. Actually, to be clear, at that age, I was still a virgin. So no, not at 12, Mumsy.
I want to clarify something. A lot of virgins are horn dogs. Okay.
Nah. But I'm not talking about a lot of people. Talk about Chris Chrome. Talk about Christopher Johnson. Talk about me. Me at 12. That wasn't my forte. I had porn. I was good. I had LimeWire, bro. That's better. At 12 years old, LimeWire was better than any of the fucking little secondary.
All right, let's move on.
No, I would. So Nightmare came from a dream that I had.
Hold on. So you're saying you wrote that track back when you were like 13? Okay.
There's four dreams in my entire life, or nightmares you can consider them to be, that are actually somewhere and will be somewhere on albums, projects, and it's part of like my Chris Chrome secret figure me out type shit. You got to find it. I told you the first one, but you got to find it. They're all over the place, and the more and more I go, if I have any other dreams as older as I get, they're also going to be there too. So there's a lot to Chris Chrome, which is why it takes me forever to get shit done, because I need to know how to, like, I want to present it. But yeah, nightmare came from a dream that I had of falling. I was a bazillion fucking feet in the air. Um,
Okay.
and I just ended up falling. Like, I was trying to jump from like these platforms, like these high staircase platform type things, and I just kept falling. And then I entered into a cove, like I say in the track, and a lot of it was just anxiety and thoughts and things in my head, voices that I deal with, a lot of just kind of how my brain processes, and it really just kind of stuck with me. So if you really want to figure out what the dream is, you have to listen to the track.
Okay. That's good to know that. So, do all of your songs? Okay, we haven't really got to your music career, but since we're on this, do all of your songs come from dreams? Is this just like your process? You literally dream it up? Like a lot of people say, like dream it up, but you literally dream up your tunes?
I some tunes I literally dream up, like literally I'll just go to bed and it just happens, and then I'll wake up and I have to sit on it, figure out what it means, and then sometimes I will I'll like kind of write the dream out in a story, read it over a couple times, and then break up the story into an actual verse, edit everything, and then certain lines will stay, because my way of rapping is a lot of, I don't give a fuck about rhyming so much. I don't give a fuck about really trying to be flashy or cool. I do the choppy stuff.
Hey.
I do the fast rap. I like rhyming. I like that skill. But for me, it's the lyrics. It's what I'm trying to say. It's the message I'm trying to get out. A lot of my throwaways that I'm doing right now, and it's only been stopped at 4 because of the lockdown. But a lot of the throwaways is kind of also the way that I would also do the dream thing. So I have thoughts in my head that pops out, and I'm just like, boom, I'm just gonna write it down. And sometimes there doesn't need to be a beat. It's just listen to what I'm saying. And I feel like I talk really fast normally. I've always talked fast. I process things fast, maybe too fast that I don't understand. I jump to conclusions. I jump the gun a lot. So when I'm doing the throwaways or when I'm just writing down the lyrics, I like to have fun with it, because I know people are going to listen when it rhymes. I know people are going to listen when it sounds cool, or when there's like little syllable play and stuff like that. But realistically, I just want you to hear what I'm saying, because a lot of it is just like, a lot of it, and this is so stupid to say, but hits blunt and thought of this meme. Like, it's
Okay.
really that. It's like, oh, hits blunt and, oh, well, if 6 is afraid of 7, oh, now I know why 7 ain't, no, or whatever, like some stupid shit. And that's kind of what, like, in a simple form for people to understand, that's kind of what happens, is like, yo, I have this thought. Yo, this thought actually makes sense. Yo, hold up. Now, a lot of it, though, is something that is more open discussion. It's relationship wise. It's this. I stay away from politics because I don't know shit about politics. I don't know much about like the other side of the world, even though I'm learning about it and stuff. So I don't really try to go about that. I'll talk about death and why people keep dying, and like, why is it we're all in this type of like world we live in, and it feels like a game and shit and that. Shit, 789 dead. Is that due to Corona, Mumsy? But in regards to that, it's like, I'll stay away from like, oh, black people are dying because of cops and no. But like, I'll talk about people dying in the streets, or I'll make that, but I'll stay away from shit I do not know. So a lot of what I know is how I think, what I feel in my heart, and just maybe a drug trip or 3, and boom sex, and all the toxic relationships I've been in my entire life, whether it's friendship, whether it's relationship, and then a lot of it for, how rappers just have your generic content that they make, like, If you want to go to a banger that is just clubby, it's about dancing, shaking women's asses, blah, 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 you go to this certain person and you're like, okay, I know what I'm going to get. Well, my generic rap is literally just like, you know, I'm a knight in shining armor. I'm a paladin doing this. I'm killing dragons and this. So it's got a lot of dream aspect to it.
I've heard a lot of your stuff. Your go-to is I'm an emotional mess.
No, right. I'm saying, but that's a lot of my stuff. Like what I like.
And I
to
don't.
put out.
Sorry, I just want to say I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean it like an atmosphere. My life is a nightmare, kind of depression, emotional mess. Like literally emo.
No, right. But I'm saying, but let's be clear. That's a track. Like that's an actual song. I'm saying like if I'm gonna do the thing where it's like, yo, be cool. Like on the track with Mike Gerolo, right? Fuck the haters, right? It's not even like I'm the best rapper. I'm talking about
That's
I'm
fair.
talking about like, you know,
Chris
what I'm saying?
is a wreck that's on a quest to go fix it. I respect that.
Exactly. That is true. That is my thing. But on the Mike Gerolo track, the Hater Police or whatever it is,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember that song.
I talk about waking up to my phone vibrating and people talking shit on the internet about what they don't know about my music. So that's like what my bars are. My bars are saying,
I do remember that.
My bars are saying like, yo, you don't understand what I'm saying because you only want to listen to a simple like 85 BPM. That's what you want. That's why you don't get what I'm saying, because you refuse to expand your mind on what it is. I don't need to turn around and be like, I slay this and cut you and shoot you and microphone. Nah, because I don't. Like, I don't. I'll make a reference to be like, yo, gun clock, got the verbal missiles spraying, everybody hating, I'm leaving the slave debating, all this shit. But I try to make sure that you understand I'm not really out here gun capping and things. That's not me. Like, I like to stay home, play games, smoke a bit of dank, make music, and try to change the world in a positive way, one Chris Chrome step at a time.
That's fair.
I'm Peter Pan, bro. I'm Peter fucking Pan. Literally.
Wow.
Nah, bro, you can literally, you're about to get into a serious argument with me and Algo Cerise right now because I call her Wendy because she is.
No, we're not arguing with the comments. We're not arguing with the comments, Chris. We are going to go on to the next question, though. So we started touching on your music, but I'm into like the timelines and the histories and the story of it all, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
We know that 12-year-old, 13-year-old Chris wrote some track he released like 2 years ago. Up inside of some walls in a school that he didn't want to be in. But when did you be like, yo, bro, I'm a rapper?
Facebook. So that's Facebook came out, right? No, listen.
That did happen. Facebook came out.
I thought of this, and I actually think I was like, this is a really bold statement, and I want people to call me out on it, but I think I was the first guy on Facebook to start putting fucking lyrics on his fucking...
There's no way you were the first guy ever in history to do it.
I know, but like that's where like I know that's true, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I literally used to put captions on my fucking photos and they were raps. Like I was like some geeky little kid wearing like
When did you start using Facebook?
As it came out.
Like cuz keep in mind, it didn't you weren't able to access it when it came out, right?
I did. My dad. That's my
problem.
You're
saying you were able to access it like when it was Harvard exclusive type shit?
I had access to a lot of shit I shouldn't have because my dad is actually up there in the tech world and knows some serious people.
Okay, so maybe it's plausible, Chris. You're the first person ever in the history of Facebook.
Montreal office. I've spoken to a lot of their managers. I was actually there. My dad took me to see the development of Assassin's Creed, one of the games.
No, I mean, I'm not doubting your connections. I'm saying it is. All of this is cool, Chris. You said call me on it if you don't believe. I'm just saying I'm skeptical with all the millions of people ever in the history.
For sure. I'm not, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to, like, I know it's a bold statement, but in my brain, when I was like surfing around the net on Facebook and trying to find all this stuff, I was like the only person who had like fucking like 16s or like 24s under my
I'm with you,
photos.
Wendy. I'm with you. Chris is sometimes a little grandiose, but that's why we're enjoying this whole experience. This is far more lit and entertaining than I'm sorry, Chris, but it's way more lit and entertaining than I was expecting it to be.
Hold on.
This is a litty lit.
Hold the fuck up. You've done 300 podcasts with me. at this point.
Yeah, but you're not normally litty lit like this.
That's true.
Now, to be fair, normally I'm talking way too much. On that note, so you are the first Facebook rapper. That's what I'm understanding. So you're up on Facebook dropping your hot bars.
Oh man, this is so. This is
Oh,
that's not.
look
That's
at your
absolutely
lady
not
friend
true.
Bonnie adding to this conversation. I'll bet it happened on
I
MySpace
was
first.
on
But can
MySpace,
I
but
can
MySpace.
I just point out,
I,
Chris, in his defense, did say on Facebook. So even if the trend happened on MySpace first, Chris said on Facebook. That's very specific in his defense.
I was on MySpace, but I only use MySpace, and I was also on Pigzo. By the way, when I was
I don't know.
using Pigzo, it's before MySpace. This Pigzo was like my original build your own website thing, and then MySpace came out, and then Facebook for me. So on
I'm
On
not young,
Pigzo is
Wendy.
where I learned. Pigzo is where I learned what like building your page is and what you're supposed to like look like and how you try to build your platform, which was at a really young age. I learned branding, minimal branding at like a really young age because of Pigzo, I find. I say that very, very loosely. And
Yo, a lot
then,
of kids is learning crazy branding on Instagram right now. So I
I
appreciate
mean,
what you're saying,
fair,
and I put weight in what you're saying.
but I'm not saying, but I just want to make it clear for everybody listening, viewing, and all this. I know fuck all about branding. Like I don't even know how to brand myself as Chris
No,
Chrome
that's
because that
he's
who's
not
Chris Chrome is.
he's not lying. I mean, sorry, he's not. That's not what I meant to say. He's lying. He absolutely knows a few things about branding. I know because we've talked about branding. So anyway, keep going on with
Um,
your
but no,
the
I was
first
just answering
Facebook
like
rapper.
Algo said MySpace, so I was just commenting on that. But go on, your question.
He is smart and learns. I think Chris Crum is a quite brilliant little young
I
one
got a
over here.
question for you
Now he's
though.
moving into
I got a
some
question for you just to
middle-aged
stroke my
20s
ego
though.
though.
Okay, fine. What is your question?
As somebody who's literally been by my side for like the last fucking 6-7 years, just to like answer the whole learning process, you got to say there's some growth here.
I just said
From the
that.
little, no, but I'm trying to show the spectrum. Like I was a shit, and
Chris
then now
was your testosterone fueled young man, and now he is a less testosterone fueled young man post puberty, having some calmer hormone situations. Because let's be real, Chris has only left puberty for about a year. Because in case y'all cast it in, no, that shit is bouncing out at about 25. So you're basically an emotional fucking wreck until then. And now Chris is stepping into the world of, I'm going to just play video games instead. Anyway, what I guess the next question, or the question I'm just trying to go on still with, is so when did you like actually migrate
shout out to
into
Wendy for making me who I am
when did
today
you
at the
Wendy?
pan.
Yes, Wendy, you are wonderful. No disrespect at all. No, Wendy, you're great. I'm loving this. You're making the comment section lit. You are the MVP right here. It's not Chris or I. It's you.
Go
And
get more people.
your lady friend
Put
Bonnie,
this
because I
on
live with her.
TikTok. Go
Um,
get your TikTok friends.
Yeah, TikTok. Yo, I put 2 cat pics on TikTok to make the cats compete against each other. Gus won. Anyhow,
Hey, good
when
job,
did
guys.
you migrate in theoretically if you take like a TikTok of like the screen or the channel and say twitch.tv/behind that suit, you could. Anyway, Chris, when did you start actually deciding to become a rapper, not just a guy who puts rap lyrics on memes,
Nah, dude,
which
that
is
was it. Bro, that like I'm not even
so
fucking
they
with
were
you
you're
right
like
now. Your
you're
question is answered.
you absolutely
Detention,
may.
detention. In that detention room, my first 36 is how it started. I wrote 36 bars
Do you
when I
remember
picked up
those
that pistol.
36? Do you remember
All
that?
I remember was I'm sitting in these 4 walls, closing in. My brain is sinking. I'm drowning like the Titanic, and something is shifting, and then the rest.
Yo, what's the rest?
I don't remember, bro. That's like over a
Okay.
decade.
So when did you like actually migrate from I'm gonna write Facebook stuff to I'm gonna start writing songs?
uh, when one of the girlfriends I was dating basically challenged me to do it because as an
Mm.
impressionable young kid who doesn't really know where to go in life, didn't really have like that background of like be a doctor, be this. It was really just do good in school. Okay, but the fuck does that mean? I get a 60, I do good, I pass. Good job. That still doesn't set me up for life or what do I want to do or any aspect. That also does have to do with my ADHD, and because at one point I wanted to be like a police officer, a construction worker, a this, a that, a this. So with that, I just decided that, you know, she was right. I had no ambition. I was talking a lot of shit about making music and stuff. People saw my lyrics and they were always asking questions. And then I figured, yeah, it's time to do something. And then, as you may know, the very, very first song that solidifies me as Chris Chrome is Whoa, Broken Carousel. And that is literally the relationship that set me off into being the rapper I am today. Well, that's not actually true. Like that's not actually true.
All right.
I mean,
bring it back then. Bring it back to the truth.
Like, okay, so two truths actually. It's kind of confusing. So the first one is that relationship when I actually first met, when we met and everything, you and I, and then I put out Whoa, put it out on SoundCloud. Respect to SoundCloud for that. But before that was actually, I was part of Cloud9 Music Group, and I was making music over there too with shout out to Chris Cash the Gifted. He's my boy. That guy makes great production. That dude, like I dude's my man. I get beats from him. We hook him up. I'm gonna interview him. It's crazy.
Can I just stop you there? So a qualifier of being your man is that I can beat you?
Huh? Oh,
he's my man's. Oh, okay. I completely fucking. He did just shout out SoundCloud. I caught that. I just let him go, but I caught that he did give a shout out to SoundCloud, and I thought that was cute. Anyway, I misunderstood what you meant by the beats. I thought you meant like, yeah, he can beat me. Gives me beats.
If you want to go at it, fam, we can do a behind that suit little brawl, bro. I see you out there doing the runnings, doing the things. I'm proud of you.
Listen.
Me and my cubby ass.
If we go toe to toe, Chris, it's over. But back to your story. Back to your relationships.
Yeah, so
the truth before the truth and the two truths and the other truth. So, big up SoundCloud.
So Broken Carousel was when I officially decided Chris Chrome.
You got that, Wendy.
Act. Chris Chrome is a solo act, and that's it.
Were you in a group before that?
Yeah, I was part of Cloud9 Music Group. It had me, Chris Chrome, Chris Cash the Gifted, Solo.
Wait, the other Chris Chrome?
No, me as in Chris Chrome.
Because remember, there was another Chris Chrome back in those days.
No. See, that's the problem. There was never a Chris Chrome. There was only a Chrome. The other official Chris Chrome is a YouTube streamer for games.
So I looked it all up. Back when I was in 2012 rapping, the guy who battle raps currently as Chrome used to go by the name Chris Chrome. Back in the day. And you spoke to him. You told me you got his blessing for his name.
Did I tell you this, or did you do some research?
You told me this because literally we talked about it, and I'm like, are you sure that you want to be that? Because like for me, it was like when you came up and said, my name's Chris Chrome. Not when I met you, I'm like, here's the thing. I know that you're Chris Chrome, but I mean, I shared a stage with another guy who has had that name before you.
Yeah. So, okay. So back in high school, Chris Chrome, literally, I woke up one morning and I was like, I need a rapper name. Christopher, Chris Chrome. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside. Representative of the feather I got. Yes, okay. I like that.
The feather came way after your name. Anyway.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No. The feather officially came after my name, but I've always had an idea, and you can actually ask my biological mother about this. I've been wanting to get a feather of Chris Chrome tatted on my chest for years, since I was like 16. For years.
Just so you guys know, Chris Chrome's logo, which we neglected and maybe should have added to the stream, is a beautiful feather that says Chris Chrome on it, which you can see on his YouTube channel. All right, so you were part of this group. Cloud9 is your original part of being a rapper. If I'm trying to get the story straight a little bit.
Yeah, that's so
so from Facebook rapper, you see your Facebook caption guy, and I guess this attracts Cloud9 to you.
Nah, so okay, that's a really fucking crazy story, but I started Cloud9.
Okay, tell me more,
Like,
because if you want to break the freaking CB Mac record, you're gonna have to
no,
talk for a good
please.
hour more than you've done.
I ain't
More
got
than an hour.
my whole night is dedicated to you. I ain't got shit to do. I've been waiting for this. So Cloud9 Music Group, in a way, it's all confusing, but I created Cloud9 Music Group. I was working at a call center where I actually met the girl and
Okay, how
became
old are you now? I feel like you're a 12-year-old posting to Facebook, and then
I'm
now you're in
26.
a call center.
Well, that's because a lot of my rapping stuff was only lyrics. I didn't post anything until I was like
Mm.
18, 19, 20, 21. A lot of
So
my
you're just
rapping
like,
was
so from
freestyling with
like,
the homies and writing on Facebook. That's all I ever did. Write in
so
my
from like
notebook, write in my
12 to
phone.
20, it was that? It was just
Yeah,
writing in your notebook, freestyle
yeah,
with the
writing
homies, those
lyrics.
ciphers where nobody ever sees a thing?
Shout out to the best friend, CPT Josh.
Question: were you busting up freestyles at party to try and get some girls back in the day? Like if the phone came out and the beat started playing, would you get in the circle and bust a couple of lines?
I would be the last guy because I ended up growing up in the era where freestyling, nobody wanted to hear freestyles because they only wanted to hear the good rappers, and everybody that was around me and hanging around me was just like, you can't rap for shit. But I
Mm.
talked way like, and this is what always fucked with me, and this is probably like my pathetic defense mechanism I use to make myself feel better. But I'm sitting here going, you can't talk shit about my rapping skills if I generally talk better than you. My vocabulary on a general basis is better than you. Can't talk shit about my rapping skills. Like your criticism to me, like you can talk shit about my flow, but you can't tell me what I'm saying is shit. I'm making full on fucking sentences. I'm fucking describing some shit.
Yo, hold
Like,
on. CB Mac, remember that nice guy freestyle battle league thing? Still on the list. We're going to pull that off on Twitch. It's just coming when the
let's
time
go.
comes. We're going
Let's
to
go.
talk after.
We got this. We got this.
And
So
back to you,
that was
Chris.
just a lot of like me being a rapper too came from me having a lot to say, nobody wanting to listen. So I just had to start saying shit. And every time I would start freestyling, I'd always get into the emotional stuff. And I
Mm.
think that people didn't want to hear that. And they always wanted to hear like the gun bars and the gangster shit. But it's hard for me. First off, in my brain, in my circle of white friends, I'm the only black guy there. First off, like in my brain. Second of all, we don't come from the hood, fam. We come from the suburbs. We were all on fucking yellow school buses, safety in the fucking morning with like goddamn fucking parents, 6 cars there watching us and shit. We don't come from drugland gangbanging, bro. Who the fuck you think we are? Why am I gonna be making freestyles on the street at a fucking bus station with 12 fucking cop cars and everybody's there like, oh, well, we're just gonna get on the bus and be respectful. Yeah, there was fights. Yeah, there was this. But you know where I was during the fight? Sitting at the bus was waiting for my bus. Why? Because I had a mother who would beat my backside if I didn't get home on time.
Fair
So
enough.
I ain't gonna rap about that shit. Then when
Yo,
I did
Chris.
rap, wait, then when I did rap about that shit just to entertain and because it's easy and you can kind of put on that act, people would question me and be like, oh, you don't really act like that. And I'm like, well, fuck it. Y'all are stupid. Like, y'all clearly don't know music. You don't understand creations. You don't understand art. You don't understand, like, the idea of building a persona, a brand, an image, something that you're not.
Mm.
I can't listen. At one point, I had to be like, look, this is my journey, not yours.
All
And
right,
shout out to
Chris.
that girl. Shout out to that girl. Much love and respect to her. She's a queen. Shout out to that girl, my ex-girlfriend back in the day, who really busted my ass to get me to get to where I am. Thank you to her.
I appreciate that. Yo, I'm going to have to go take a second pee break because my bladder's betraying me here. So
Yo,
I'm going to
I
be
gotta
right
go.
back.
So no, can we take like a little break? Put up the new little thing just so I can say I did make the little thumbnails thing. We'll be back in about
All
like a
right.
little
So,
5 minutes, 10
okay.
minutes.
5 minutes, Chris. You have 5 minutes. I'm going to set the little timer right now.
Guys,
But if you
in the
want to,
thumbnails, you already know. You already know. I made this. If you
so
like it,
I'm
it's
setting it to come back at 1900. So that's 7 o'clock, Chris. Be
all
here
right.
at 7 o'clock, ready to go. All right, we're back, everybody. That's true. Chris is definitely yo. Just to be clear for everybody watching this, whenever Chris has been like a day one of behind that suit, as in quite literally our 4 year anniversary is in about I don't know a week or so. I think it's the 16th or some shit like that in November, and we did our very first Headspace podcast episode titled Eminem's new song, and it was myself, Chris Chrome over here, and Damon. So he's been a part of this for a very long time. He's even gonna stream video games on this very channels down the line. So just don't think it's.
I am so excited. I've been practicing. I like, and by practicing, I mean like,
Yo, you got to go down a little bit. You're a little out of frame if you see it in the little camera.
hold up. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. There we
Awesome.
go. There you go. I've been practicing. I've been really I've been playing a lot of games lately, and I know that's not really a good thing because I got a lot of work to do, but I've just been kind of watching a lot of streamers and trying to get into the whole like idea of what like that streaming personality is. And yeah, no, I'm like commenting as I play games. Like I'll be playing Destiny PvP right now, and I'm like, all right, 1, 2, jump, shoot grenade, back, dodge. Like I'm talking to myself, and then like if somebody
shit.
around,
My mom is in the comments.
hey. So like sometimes like I'll count how many bullets. I'll like make comments like, oh nice. Like if I die, I'll be like, oh man, dude used a cheap weapon, or like, oh nice sniper kill. Like I really try to talk about it. I try to give my opinion. So trying to get prepped for that streaming to make it really good and worth it.
Awesome. So let's get back into the music talk. We have a teenage Christopher that is not into the gangster shit, rapping on bus corners around the gangster shit. Let's call it the faux gangster shit. Then you kind of, at some point, you're writing your rhymes, everybody's freestyling, and then all of this is passing until at some point you are in your early 20s and you put out your first track, or your Cloud 9. When does Cloud 9? Tell us about the formation of this.
When did we meet?
I don't know, like 5. You were in your early 20s. I think you were 21.
So about 5 years ago?
5-6 years ago.
So yeah, about 6-7 years ago, I was working at a call center, still writing rhymes. Actually, the day I got the call from, and this is so fucking crazy, Chris Cash the Gifted called me for a phone call interview, and I was sitting outside at a park, and calls me, smoking, freestyling myself, gives me the interview. Calls me in for another interview, like whatever, and that's where I met my girlfriend. Well, my ex at the time. She actually gave me my live interview, and the way I performed the interview was actually in a rap.
Okay.
So to answer your question before, did I ever have to like rap for ladies? I never had to. I just rapped. Like rapping to me is speaking. So I just rapped, and she was so like, oh my God, like you have such a great way of speaking. Customers will love you. Like people will talk to you and stuff. And then, from there, I would stand outside everything, and I would wait for her. And while I'd wait for her, because I was trying to be like, oh, what are you doing here? Like it's 10 o'clock, you finish or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, I was around the place, thought I'd want to chill with you, trying to be all flirty. But she was into hip hop. So I just kind of started showing her music and then reading lyrics, and then started rapping around her. And then other people started coming out. And then, when you smoke weed, you want to find all the weed smokers. So you kind of start building your circle, right? So I built my circle of friends from the coworkers at work. And
thank you, Wendy. You're awesome. Chris, can I just say, for a guy who is trying to not present himself like a horn dog, it is pretty funny to me that the way you got into rapping for Real Reels was to impress a girl, which is fair. I think many of us started taking many things for Real Realsies to impress a girl in our lives.
I don't think it was more to impress a girl. I feel like it was really no, because see, here's the problem. At that time, I was rapping even before I met her. Like I was saying, like at the interview, I was rapping. Like I was rapping at the bench before that. It's just,
Chris, you told me you would wait for her to come out to impress her and bust rhymes.
But I'm
I'm
saying
gonna have
that's
to
not,
agree with Wendy here. You were trying to get laid. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Hey,
I'm
yo,
always
girls are worth impressing. I tried so hard. I wrote a song to your lady friend Bonnie. I agree with you that rapping is a smart and effective way to get
no,
ladies.
but
CB
so
Max with
this
you.
is what, but this
Everybody
is what
gets
I'm
it.
trying
We
to
got
say.
it, man.
No, but hold up. I also wrote a song for my ex-girlfriend when I was like 18. So like,
Yes,
no,
smart man.
so to answer so what I'm saying is like, okay, fair. I've been writing songs for
So
women, but I
can
wouldn't
I just
write
can I
them
just
for
add some context here,
my
Chris?
girlfriend first off.
I
So I'm
asked
already
you
getting
about the start of Cloud 9, and the start of Cloud 9 turned into I waited outside to rap for a girl, and that was supposed to be the part that.
because Chris Cash the Gifted was there too. So
Okay.
that's how that started. Like because they were both all finishing, so they would come out and then me and Chris started smoking and started rapping, and then another guy, Lucius P. Thundercat, he came out and we all started rapping.
Okay.
So because we were all spending like, and next thing you know, it's like midnight and we've been rapping for like 2 hours and going at it and chilling, and the girl was just there, like she didn't want to leave, so it was all
you're
just.
gonna tell me that you didn't notice this girl looking at you, and you didn't try a little bit harder?
No, I had to try at work. I made sure that I was the only person she spoke to at work. I always asked her questions. I always made sure to reach out to her. I was in her face like 24/7.
I'm just saying, it's not often we have a comment section to weigh in on our conversations. This would have been very handy throughout the years, no? But you can see what they're saying, Chris. They're not agreeing with you on this one.
Listen.
All we're saying is you are totally allowed to be trying to get laid off this. That's game.
Look,
and you know what?
it's
not even like you were trying to get laid in a lame way. You was busting rhymes.
You know what? That's a good statement. Realistically, anybody who is talented, anybody who is practicing a talent or practicing to be better at something, if you're not trying to flaunt that talent or that ability to get laid, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with it.
Listen, not everyone's gonna use their talents to get laid, but I agree with you entirely. Are you fucking kidding me? I put all this work in.
What I'm saying is people want to talk about stats, and this is how, like, I'm fucked up right now, and my brain is not gonna go into a way that's
just
like.
Keep running it, Chris. You want to beat that CB Mac record? This is how we do.
Listen. You want to talk about stats and shit, right? You want to talk about feedback, bro. If I can turn around, spit a 16, and the girl wants to fuck me after. What more validate? That's somewhat of a validation.
That's exactly what Wendy's saying.
If I'm a smart mathematician and I can like fucking do this or play chess or whatever, and I'm not trying to flaunt it. And yes, Algo, I know it's bullshit. My other personality and things could also be why she wants to probably sleep with me.
No,
but
it's not. Anyway, she's saying it's BS. 'Cause I believe, and when she can correct me, that I'll give you the D later was the BS, the lame pickup lines, whereas your hot 16 is actually an impressive situation where it's cool.
I probably did read that wrong. I probably read that wrong.
So don't worry about it.
I still
keep
feel
ranting,
like
Chris. Keep fucking ranting.
If you're a chef, you ain't gonna try to flaunt for your friends.
Fuck yeah. Every chef ever probably was like, yo, I'm going to attract a partner of the person I want to bang using my abilities with food because it's like that. So you're straight up. I believe peacocking is what it is.
Exactly. So that's so yeah. I've tried to impress women. I've actually impressed a group of women by rapping on top of Skrillex off the dome.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I mean,
was it Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites?
Not Scary Monsters, Nice Sprites, Bangarang.
Good shit.
All of Skrillex I can practically rap on.
Hold up, Chris. We just peaked at 9 viewers. New record for the channel. Thank you, everybody watching. Make sure you let Chris Chrome know what your questions are. Keep it running, boy. Tell us a little bit more about Cloud9 because we have established you were trying to get laid and you were with your boys.
Have you ever put yourself on Dat Piff?
No.
I can officially say Chris Chrome was on Dat Piff with a mixtape.
When?
Cloud9 music group put a project out on Dat Piff featuring Chris Chrome. I'm on like the entire album.
Tell us about how that happened. Give us the story. That was like the bold proclamation. All right. I like the ending. Let's get to the beginning and middle parts.
Okay, so with all this rapping, I started talking to Chris Cash the Gifted one night because we were both walking to the metro together with the girl because we were all taking the same metro together. And we were discussing about how Chris Cash, well, he was telling me that, you know, he makes beats and stuff. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm really ready to like set this shit off and really start like, you know, promoting and building a brand and really like taking over Montreal. I don't have beats. Like, I think that's every rapper's real issue is if you don't have money, you don't have beats. And I look at a lot of the groups and stuff and I'm like, yo, I asked Chris Cash, I said, yo, how did 90% of the rappers get famous? Well, they had a beat maker. And their beat maker was who? Their friend. Aren't we friends? Yeah. So. and from there, it worked. Guy came back and sent me a pack of 10 beats. Same night. Pack of 10 beats. I was just like, okay, here we go. So I start freestyling on the beats, feeling this and picking out beats, whatever. A couple days later, we're back at work and Lucius P. Thundercat shows up. We're out freestyling. He comes out. He's freestyling. He's friends with Chris Cash the Gifted. So he was brought into the group. Solo the Kid is my boy. To this day, I love that boy. He gives me haircuts and everything. Shout out to him. If you ever need a haircut, I'm going to have to find the link eventually and I will share it because he's really great. He's more like the hype man, weed guy, zombie type bars. Love him to death. And he would be hyping us up, bro. Like, you'd be pulling out here. You're like, yo, I'm out up on the streets. Chilling in the heat. Like, he's out here, you know, and I'm like, got shorty in the sheets. She acting like a freak.
Yeah, shout out CB Mac for following us, because when people follow you, you got to shout them out. That's the rules. You know how it is.
Shout out. Thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. So all of that right there, that energy to me, I was like, guys, we have to do it. Let's preach it. Like, we need to. We could collaborate. We could do that. Y'all can make your solo product. I don't give a fuck. But statistically, it may be, not statistically, but like, logically, it may be easier to get more clout, to get more clicks as a group and then branch off like every other fucking rap group did because it worked historically.
Yo, Chris, you're actually pretty fucking smart. Like, I know I said it how I said it there, but like, for real, what you're saying. Yo, shout out Algo Cerise for the follow too. That's big. Thanks. Big respect.
But I want to bring that back. Sorry. I love Mumsy. I love everybody who's following. Peace, love, respect. Moi. That's me trapped in my room at 12 gave me the time to analyze hip hop. And everything I saw hip-hop had a group. And everybody. Lil Wayne's out here spitting bars by himself on a whole track, but the whole fucking Young Money was behind him. Birdman was behind him. Rick Ross is out here. He's got his fucking squad behind him. And everything I said in my brain was, damn right, one of those guys is the producer. Damn right, one of those guys is the promoter. Damn right, one of those guys is his shooter or whatever. And they're all on deck with him. So I was like, we need groups. Nobody can do this alone. Why? Well, unless you're selling drugs or doing criminal activity to make a fuck ton of money to pay the producing hours, that is worth it. Because a lot of producers and a lot of studios don't even put the love and effort they should into the creation that you're making for the money that you're giving them. So unless you're out here slaying fucking whatever product and making this bank to waste all that money on a studio session, bro, go make chummy with some like local beat maker. Get off on your fucking, you know, little lame ass beats and your lame ass freestyles. Build your clout. Teach each other what's good and what sounds nice and grow together. But at the end of the day, you got to tell each other, yo, if you want to go and work with another artist, go make your decisions. But I look a lot. Go on.
I just loved what you were, I mean, all of that was really good too, because there is a importance to standing out, being powerful. But what really caught my ear before and what made me call you smart was how you recognize the power of community so early, right? Now, something that I feel like we want to talk a bit about the local scene is problematic is just the lack thereof of groups and community efforts. So a lot of things are very transactional right now. Everybody, and this is not everybody everything, This is most people, most things. Because, of course, there are some successes happening, especially on the French side of the scene. But if you wanted to find a free beat right now, let's just say, and find a boy that was down for it, it's kind of challenging. It's not impossible. I've
I
pulled it
want to
off a
discuss
few
something
times.
on beats.
But, I mean, what you were saying is, at the end of the day, you saw the value in terms of having a group of people put together, and I'm seeing a lack of that. I see labels, I
Here's
see organizations, but what you don't see is like those old school hip hop groups, like you were pointing out, of all these
sorry to cut you
people.
off, right? Just to extend that, well, what you're saying before I lose my thought, I'm super sorry. Um, I've I've
You know,
done the
the French
analyzing.
scene is popping right now
I've
in
done
Quebec.
analytics. I've done the discussions. I've done and looked at all these things. And my problem is everybody talks about having money. Everybody talks about making big bank and shit and all this stuff. But my question is, with all the money you're putting into it and shit and all the people you paying, I know it's a lie. You ain't really out here making big bank.
I
So
mean,
now,
here's the
hold
thing.
on. I say this loosely. Don't. It's not like a super bold. It's loosely because here's what I'm saying to follow up. Wait, and please
Yo,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Chris, your
But
mom lady is mad smart.
I know she is. That's why she chose me and I chose her. Um.
Aww.
So to say that you were out here making that big of money, but you're also working solo, I'm like, ah. But then I think if I team up with a producer, we both make money and we know where that's going.
I
We
mean, I
know.
guess the fear
You know
that a lot of people have, and just to give like the counterbalance is, let's say you are down to work and you pulled off the Cloud9 thing and you made all that happen, which is really incredible.
which you did
There
and I'll talk.
are there are some time wasters. Let's be real out there. I think the reason there's so much transaction right now is because unfortunately there are some time wasters. Now, I'm not saying it's. I'm not even sure what the right answer to anything is, because the beat maker is gonna go, "Yo, I want to get my bank," and the video guy is gonna go, "Yo, I want to get my bank." And there's no, "Yo, we hit 10 viewers, everybody. That's magical." Um,
So
and
I'm
there's
gonna
no
counter that
guarantees in
with
this
saying.
shit, right? So
So I'm,
that's why look. I like the way you pitched it, right? I think the
but I'm
right
gonna.
path forward is this group thing. I think if we had more of these collectives where people kind of avoided that cost in order to build the collective, like somebody sent you 10 beats, you made everything happen, and then inevitably, I assume a Cloud9 mixtape appears.
So not to stroke your ego, but "Dreams of a Team" on your new
That's a good
album that
track.
came out.
It's a
Really
brand
great
new
track.
album. It
Me and you
features
are
Chris
on it.
Chrome over here.
Great verses. That song, what you say on that track is what I'm basically trying to explain. You
Aww.
want to build a team, but you don't have equity to do it. If I'm using that correctly. You
Well,
know, you
everybody
wish
costs money.
deadlines, and it's funny, and I really like the line where you're like, deadlines are my worst something, whatever, and then I come in on the first verse. I like that because between you and me, and I'm gonna say this because I'm honest, I know I fuck up a lot of the deadlines because I deal with my own personal shit, and there's a lot of deadlines that we have not
Yeah,
met because of my thumbnails and stuff,
that's
right?
not fully true. There's like two or three things you maybe back in the day did. But yo, I just want to respond real quick to something that Algo Cerise here just said. If you're a beat maker, you need a rapper, and if you're a rapper, you need a producer, etc. And if you're a producer, you need artist. I think that's true, but it's also supply and demand. So there's something like 2 to 5 thousand rappers in the city in the surrounding area, and there
Yeah,
are certainly way less beat makers and of talent and whatnot. Like there's just so many rappers that it's like all the resources that support us can just charge almost what the fuck they want,
but
because
I think
everywhere they turn there's just another rapper.
I think it's a conversation of ego, and I know that's like a weird tangent to go to, but I think that so I met a beat maker once, great guy, amazing.
Do not say
But
his name.
no. This is way back, way back.
I'm just saying it. Don't say anybody's names in
But
these
like
stories.
we had some complications only because of the fact that like my love for music and my taste for music and my creations expand beyond certain limits that I want to do. If you're limiting yourself to only one sound, which a lot of beat makers do, I don't know how anybody's going to try to progress because yes, there's a fuck ton of rappers, but there's also with those fuck ton of rappers, there is let's say a fuck ton is 100.
Okay.
Okay, let's just simple math because I need to make a point.
Let's go with 1,000. It's still easy math.
No.
Okay, fine. 100. 100. 100 is easy math. Fine.
25 times 4 is 100, right?
Yes.
25 trap rappers, 25 emotional rappers, 25 25 If you're only limiting yourself to one sound, yeah, every fucking rapper you talk to, well, it's another trapper, another trapper, another trapper. My guy, you're only making that.
Well,
And
Chris, if I may interject, if you want to run the numbers, we got to go more like 1,000s because the truth is there's hundreds of trap guys and hundreds of conscious guys and hundreds of boom bappers. And
I'm trying to just make the point of I'm not trying to run numbers like that. I'm trying to just make the point of like, I feel that because there is so many of these rappers and so many of these same type of people, including me, that includes me in that too.
No, this is all rappers. There's just so many fucking rappers, dude. I've been doing Facebook contests and shit and just learning about this a little bit, man. Because check it, like I want to run contests too. Like there's an economy to growing your brand in this. And all I'm gonna say is I thought Montreal had a lot of talented MCs, and it really does. I mean, I'm saying pick a lane. There's like 10 guys that are worth putting money behind in every possible lane you can think of in the Anglo scene of Montreal right now. And that's just Montreal. What about Toronto? What about Kingston? What about all the other Canadian cities, you know?
I see what you, let me say this. Guy makes beats, right? The trappers are out here. They're making money, doing what they got to do. I'm running my 9 to 5. No. Trappers are spending money on a studio time, beat making to get all these things. Beat makers looking at it like, yeah, I'm making money, but I'm not really expanding my shit because I'm only working with these guys because these are the guys that are coming to me. Here comes Chris Chrome making my 9 to 5. I don't have much money, but my music, eye or ear or whatever I feel with music is different, and it will allow you to play around and expand your music talent and beat production. Now, I'm also willing to rap on quote unquote objectively shitty beats because I think.
But you can get like shitty beats for like no money. Like literally, it would cost you almost nothing to get shitty beats right now. So let's look at it from the other point of view. Just because I'm really trying to like play like fairness in this.
I guess I'm looking at it from like if
I'm the beat maker, my goal is to eat first. Actually, right? It's to feed myself and my family, likely. So if anybody is showing up in my crib with the cash flow to pay me versus a guy who's asking for a free handout, because I was actually having this conversation with a well-known producer, beat making studio guy in Montreal who shall go unnamed, just on this subject. The number of rappers who hit you up for shit if you're a beat maker or a studio right now is so much that unless you're offering money off the jump, your background noise. And this isn't necessarily the way it should be. I'm into the health check diagnosis of what's currently happening. So every beat maker you know has rappers hitting them up for free, for paid, for whatever, all the time. And if you have a commodity that you can sell for $500, you can afford to wait to sell that. Whereas, let's be real, as rappers, man, the money that we're going to make selling music off the jump, the return on investment for any of us, it's not like that beat maker. You're asking for a long-term investment to be able to make back anything compared to the guaranteed money of dude who shows up with the cash. And on that note, with the 9 to 5, you can buy beats, dude. It's not impossible. You can just budget in a way that lets you finance your albums.
I've done what I had to do. I guess.
And I can just to respond, because Algo Cerise asked a great question. Learning to make beats is like a second skill of equal time investment as trying to be an MC. To be honest with you, like personally, I don't have the patience to learn it. I spent way more than 10,000 hours crafting my abilities to be a rapper, and I have learned a lot about this video world and how to grow this other thing. I personally just don't have more time to add into my life to take on another 10,000 hour thing, because not just learning it, it's learning to make them so well. Now, some people, they love doing that stuff. I would rather learn how to make a business plan and market it and then make friends personally with somebody who makes beats. But that's my answer to your question. Oh, fair enough. I don't know how to answer that question, but I would go back to ambition and back to what CB Max said, actually. Not everyone has bigger aspirations. I am constantly trying to find people. I found Chris. That's why he's here now, because we
So,
found each other.
so
Big ups Adam for linking us up. Anyway,
this
so
is
back to
what
you, Chris.
shout out to to the big brother fat man. Damn straight. Damn straight. I love that kid. What I wanted to say, and we still have a lot of my story left and a whole lot to get to about who Chris Chrome is, but just to, I guess, wrap up this part of the convo, I think longevity is the word I want to use.
Okay.
Yeah, you make great beats. Yeah, you charge $500 a month, $500 a beat, whatever. What guarantees you that the rapper who's got the money is gonna make it?
But he doesn't care. He already got. He wants to live off of his art. He just wants to make money living off that studio.
So what I'm gonna rebuttal with is, if you're living off the studio and people are buying your beats, but the rapping is shit, nobody's gonna want to come to you for the beats.
I don't know if that's true at all. Because at the end of the day, if your beats are everywhere because people keep buying them, from a supply and demand perspective, it's going to look like your shit's hot. And then people are going to want that because it's everywhere. I think that's how half these guys' names come around. People just hear it. Like, seriously, you hear the same beat maker tag enough times, all of a sudden you think he's a hot beat maker, whether or not it's true. Even though half these guys sound the same as far as beat makers go. Like, half these modern guys sound the same except for their fucking tag. They all just copy each other. But, like, the same tag shows up in it. If you're a metro, don't trust it, he gonna shoot you. You hear that, you're like, oh, it's gotta be a hot song. So in that regard, if people, and then there's also the numbers, right? So if these wax tracks, let's say, are pulling serious numbers because so many of them are happening at the end of the day. Because while you may feel, and everybody may feel, certain things are whack, half this shit's pulling more numbers than, say, the conscious or the reels, right? So let's say, and then the other side of it is back to, man's is trying to eat. Like, yo, you were to say to me straight up, I can quit my job and I can write bullshit rap music behind the scenes as a ghostwriter for the rest of my life. I'll fucking quit my job and write the worst shit ever without even thinking twice. Like, it would be absolute, like, nonsense. Like, I would write whatever. I don't care. Oh, you want a song about, riding the bus? Fuck it. You'll get a kid's song on riding the bus. Yo, CB Mac is lit.
Making friends in the chat and supporting everybody. I want to say, on record, she also is my manager. We've had discussions where she does kind of manage the certain things that Chris Chrome does. So this is more than just an exclusive interview. This is like a whole. You're really getting that Chris Chrome collaboration here. There's like family and business all together. So there's a lot.
CB Mac raps real good. You should check his shit out.
I'm so down for that freestyle. But more questions. Where were we?
You were basically back to Cloud 9, because I don't think we ever really got. We started with Cloud 9 and it exists. We still didn't really talk much about making the album.
I mean, it was more like a mixtape, but we decided to make a project. We were 4 guys, and then what happened is some guy just decided to turn around and be like, hey, I'm into rap and I like to manage people and want to run my own label and stuff like that. And I was like, I mean, we need somebody to take on that part of the whole thing at that point. So yeah, I don't really want to take care of it because I want to rap and I want to focus on the music and the creations and shit like that. So for a while we were doing really well, I guess. We met up like every weekend, scheduled this and that. If some of us couldn't record, we just try to bang out the verses who was available and all that. He was putting in money into us and stuff like that. We were all putting in money. We were paying back each other and all this stuff. Then I noticed that he didn't like me because of the rap I made. He didn't like, not to like throw him under the bus, but he really liked Chris Cash the Gifted. He really liked Lucius P. Thundercat. And I think it's because, 1, they're black, like physically they're black. 2, their music, as much as I love them both, they sound more like your rap music that people want to listen to than something Chris Chrome would make. And I say that with the most love and respect. Chris Cash the Gifted knows I love them. Lucius P. Thundercat knows I love them. I bump their music. I enjoy what they make. But it is more of your I'm going to say it's stereotypical rap music that, you know, people like to listen to, then what I'm going to make. Like if you listen to I forget Lucius's song Swag Poseidon. Yeah, that whole track is a fucking banger. But like comparatively lyric wise, that's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like, yo, I got the shorty all wet. I'm the best lyrical set. Na 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 na. So for me, as much as I'm like, I like that in respect to your craft, I know that I don't do that. That's not what I do. When I make songs and I talk about like, oh yeah, I got her all wet, it sounds weird to me. Like it sounds weird coming out of my fucking mouth. Honestly, when I play it back in the track, I'm like, Christ, that's not me. That's not who I am. If I'm gonna say something like that, it's because the song itself is like R&B. It's sensual. It's romantic. It's intimate. There's passion in it. You can see in my voice. Like I'll literally break down and describe me taking off, you know, the girl's panties and stuff in a bar, and like the actual dripness of the wetness and stuff. Like that's what I like to write about and really give you that image. And I know maybe not a lot of people want to fuck with that. So all that to say, I could see that he was kind of cutting me off tracks. I could see that he wasn't really trying to schedule studio time with me, even when I had money to kind of like cover it from my own time and shit like that. A lot of the beats that I would already speak with Chris Cash about that I was going to make, and I already had tracks that I written to before because I was bumping these tracks from Chris Cash before Mr. Producer Dude even showed up in the group thing. Mr. Manager Dude even showed up in the group thing. Beats started getting sent around, and I just kind of felt like, you know, as an artist and as Tech Nine says, yeah, I'm fragile, but like at the same time, I'm not saying I called dibs. It's just I had shit ready. Like I had shit ready. Like I had verses, I had whole projects, I had like full 3-verse and hooks and chorus tracks that were ready to be thrown out there. So in the group mentality, I'm sitting here going, yo, we need music. I've got music. Why are we waiting for, you know, an extra 3 weeks for somebody to write a next verse or write a whole new verse and a whole new vibe to this track when it's ready to go? Now,
Yeah, I'm just really glad you circled back to that because it's completely related to what we were just talking about. The whole other side to the ownership of things in the group dynamic versus
and sorry,
like paying for things, right? Like
I came up with the name if we're gonna add this because I feel like we're gonna add that. I literally
tell us how you came up with the name. How did you come up with it?
We all needed a name. We're all a bunch of potheads. We all live on cloud 9. I said it. That's how it happened. I'm not even trying to but see, so no, hold on. I wanna explain something, right? I wanna explain something. No. I wanna be real. Real talk.
I think you've been real the whole time, my friend.
Simplicity in the ideas that you make could sometimes be the reason people take them.
Yes, that is true.
And I honestly didn't give a fuck about keeping the name when I left or fighting for the title of who owns the rights to it or who was going to cover it, because just the way everybody reacted and like shunned me out, for me, when in my head, I first met everybody, created the rap thing, went to that call center, did the rap thing and started building this whole shit up. For you to come in and just try to take everything that I built, that showed me more of your character and gave me enough information to be like, you know what? It's like $60. It's like, I'll waste $60 to realize you're a fake friend. I'll waste a fucking label name to figure out you're a shit person. Like you can't even, not that I care about the name, but give me my respect. I know who made that name. I came up with the design. Why? Because Solo the Kid was my graphics designer at the time as well too. And he was teaching me Photoshop back then as well. So when it came to all of this shit, I was like, yo, I know I came up with the name because I spent an hour and a half designing the fucking logo with Solo. How are you going to tell me this? How are you
going? is this stuff that you've been like wanting to get off your chest for like a minute that's just never come out before?
There's so much on my chest in my rap career that I've wanted to get off, but a lot of me is just kind of like I don't think anybody really gives a shit because I'm not famous. So
That's
a lot of me, and this could be my dumbness, me being a dumbass. This could be my insecurities. This could be my anxiety, heavily my anxiety, but maybe even a part of my depression. I'll be honest with you, fam. You know that. But to
yes.
be like, for me to come out and say this, all of this, especially for two things. One, for somebody I may not ever know, I don't think I'll do that. So I'm really glad I get to do this with you because I've spoken to you days in, days out. It feels like forever. So I can have this convo without kind of feeling insecure and anxious and maybe, watch what I kind of say in
Just to
certain
be
shit.
clear, this is still gonna be out on the internet either way.
No, I
Just so
know
you're
that,
aware.
and I know and I know that, and I know exactly what I'm saying, and I know, and I'm watching what I'm saying on certain shit, of course. But I'm also like, some of these stories that really develop who Chris Chrome is wouldn't have ever have been told online if not the right person was going to ask me or let me speak the way I speak.
That's fair. I do try to encourage people to speak how they speak, unless they want to talk about words that will get us banned. That's the new rules. But previously, even those words were okay. All right. So,
So, okay, Cloud
man,
Nine.
I just
So,
feel like it's
call
like
it
a whole
Cloud
lot
Nine.
at
Cloud
once.
Nine. So, yeah, Cloud Nine. So, once that started happening, we were literally in the middle of finishing up a project, and there was one track left. And what ended up happening was some dude, respect and love to him too, great guy, who came in literally like a week before we were gonna drop the project, wanted a beat that I already half recorded and needed to go finish my last verse. And manager dude just kind of tossed it over. And I spent at least like almost 10 hours in the booth trying to fucking perfect the way I'm gonna spit certain lyrics, the way I'm gonna breathe, the way I'm gonna like kind of dip down and try to make, because I have like issues with sometimes the breathing. So like I'll like crunch up a little bit and like do the rap thing because I have like my body's like, oh, we can breathe differently now, or whatever my body decides to do. So I spent time doing that, and then you're just gonna fucking toss it over to him? And then what? Cut my verse? I don't know, man. At that moment, I just kind of decided. I
So,
was like, you know what? I'm just out. Keep whatever you have. Just know that my lyrics are going to be reused as certain things. So for anybody out there, if ever you hear a throwaway, if you hear a track that has literally the same lyrics as something you may have coincidentally heard if you've been following Cloud9 from way back, yes, it is happening. Those are my lyrics. I wrote them. I will be putting those out because there are certain things in there that need to be heard and need to be said about Chris Chrome. And to be fair, I check that PIF every year to see if the project's still there, and it's not. So if you guys want to hear it, I will figure out a way, some sort of way to put those lyrics out, because those are stuff that in a lot of my
well, if
spare
it's just a
time,
matter of the lyrics, just release them as throwaways.
that's kind of what I've been thinking. So as I said earlier in the interview, you know, Nightmares was something I did when I was 12. So like there's a lot of history of Chris Chrome in a lot of my music, which I also believe is part of why I'm holding out on releasing my first album, because there is so much to Chris Chrome that nobody really knows, that I could drop anything. I could start a new series if I wanted today and give you
I
like,
think everybody wants you to start a new series and run it.
I mean, I could do a whole series of just 1 minute little snippets and you could learn a whole much about me. Parts of verses,
Honestly,
shit.
that's what you should be doing on Instagram. I think it's a great idea. And now that the
Instagram
internet has
gives me
heard that you
anxiety.
committed to
I'm gonna
this,
call it. I'm gonna say it. Everybody who wants me on Instagram, I'm saying it publicly. It's on wax. It's on record. Instagram gives me anxiety. The fakeness, the bullshit. I sit
Yes.
in my 3.5 apartment on my fucking grandmother's couch because, you know, I can't afford to get a new couch by myself. And I'm sitting here scrolling through Instagram, living my struggle, seeing everybody living their fucking best life. Fuck out of here. I can't do that. And I know I'm very passionate,
Which is
but
fair.
I can't do it. Like, it
But
literally makes
if
me want to cry. It makes me want to cringe. I get sick because it's like, y'all don't live this life. I've been to some of your houses. I know your relationship. I
so,
know the places you really go to.
Chris,
Don't
if I
fucking
can
tell
give
me.
you some advice, unfollow those people for one thing, and start following people like CB Mac who aren't going to give you that fakeness. And let me tell you something: in a CB Mac story, you get some positive message, some little updates, some have a nice day crap. He's super polite. You can also follow your lady friend Bonnie, where you'll get books. And I'm just saying you can control your Instagram a little bit if you just curate it. And then secondarily, and I know I'm ignoring you a little bit because Instagram's super important in a lot of ways right now. Same thing with TikTok. If you can record these little 1 minute videos or less, you can release them to both Instagram and TikTok on a literal daily. And if you do that for a year, dude, you're going to be poppins and whatnot. In fact, all of us should probably be doing it, but it's fucking exhausting. Um, that's not the point. Hashtags are magical.
I also want to say, guys, if I'm super all over the place, if I'm super passionate, if I seem like I'm mad high,
You
this
are.
is the raw Chris Chrome
He was
first
bragging
interview.
about all the shit he was smoking before the interview.
Like, this is my life. This is really me. This is my room. This is my poster from me growing. This is the painting from my dad's house when I was a kid in the
Nobody's judging
basement.
you, man.
Like,
Everybody here's supporting you. You can see it
nah,
all
but
throughout the
it's not
comments.
about the judge. It's I want people to know that Chris Chrome is real. When I hear the definition of real, I think, who are you really? Who really are? I can't even say it without
Yo,
sounding weird. But who are
dude,
you really? The
I
person
can tell
behind
you
closed
I can
doors,
tell you one thing, Chris.
behind the suit.
Anybody that's watched this interview for more than 5 minutes is going, Chris Chrome is real. This has
Yeah,
been verbal diarrhea level real, dude. I'm
yeah.
sitting here, yo, it's mad entertaining.
That is,
Everybody knows you're being real.
but
You
also
got this.
out of everything in my life, one
Dude,
thing,
we're over 2 hours and you're
bro.
not even 21 in the story.
Up. Out of everything in my life, the one thing that I have always stuck to is that I am brutally honest with what I say. Sometimes 90%,
Oh
99.9%
my
of the
God.
time it gets me in shit.
All right, Chris, we got you. You've been over this already. We've discussed this.
I'm not. Nah, you have to understand. This is not just for me. It is for the people who are listening. It is for anybody who clicks on this video. It is for anybody who deals
So
with
the
feeling.
people
Shut
clicking
up.
in the
Shut
future
up.
heard this already.
You are literally the person I'm about to say. It is for anybody who feels like they are being silenced while they are trying to speak. Speak. Say what you have to say. Get it off your chest. And if you like, this is how raw and real Chris Chrome is. And
Yes. But
this
we
is the type
also
of music and the type of lyrics and the type of passion you are going to get from me.
yes, but we also want to keep the story moving a little bit, not go
Yeah,
into loops cuz keep in mind, everybody watching after the fact has been watching. It's then the people watching live have already got this cuz they've been with us for a minute now. Shout out to people in the watching us live. So,
guys. I love all of
and
you guys.
all right. So, I would just say it's an interesting point with this Cloud9 because it does tie back into the whole money thing, right? The one
Right.
thing that comes from money and buying your shit is that isn't an issue no more. And I think that might be part of why so much is transactional is because it cuts out that drama. The fact is, there's a lot of drama that came out of a situation that was based on faith. There was no paperwork, there were no agreements, there was nothing formalized, right? So what ended up happening at the end of the day is, unfortunately, you got fucked, and it sounds terrible. It's an honestly very unfortunate and bad situation. But I guess
Oh,
that's why so many people deal with money.
I want to state I didn't get fucked. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe that that whole incident really showed me that Chris Chrome is a lone wolf
Well, he's not a lone wolf. He's currently
anymore.
rolling with the Behind That Suit squad.
Anymore. We're literally talking 7 years ago. That was the moment that Chris Chrome realized that for music, he's a lone wolf, except
But
for my
that,
money. That's for sure.
how long did it last before you were fucking with me? It was like 2 years, and then you were working with me.
Yeah, but
That
I
was a
mean that
short
was
lone wolf period.
so. Let's be real for a second, right? That wasn't planned. That was coincident. That was like a roll of the dice. That could actually have never happened. If I never got the job at the place to meet your brother and this and that, we wouldn't have even been this. So technically, nah. At the time being, at that moment in time, Chris Chrome was a lone wolf until HSR showed up or
I have a
Adam.
question. So when you started doing Carousel and like I think you had a couple other tracks that you did back, you even had a music video you were in. Was that Lone Wolf, Chris?
The music video I was in was Cloud Nine.
Okay.
The Sinister Afternoon was Cloud Nine.
Okay, so Chris Chrome was in that music video back in the day, which I believe is still online. And
I
then,
don't even know anymore.
well, I mean, I don't know why anyone would take it down. But moving on from that, when did you get to Carousel then? How did that kind of be? That would be like, cause yo, that song's kind of a smash. It really fucking hits hard. It's got a great beat, this catchy chorus. It really sticks. Chris is flexing on some shit. And another question kind of tied to it. When did you start listening to Tech Nine, who clearly is inspired very much of your flow?
Worldwide Choppers. Hit, move, everybody move. Need for Speed, Midnight Club. I
Okay.
just didn't know that was Tech Nine at the time because I was young. And actually, I'm wrong. I knew it was Tech Nine, but I didn't know. I knew the name because it would be written on the screen, right? But I didn't know Tech Nine as I know Tech Nine and adore him now. So that's when I basically fell into Tech Nine. Eminem was the fast rapper guy for me, and I've always been attracted to fast rap. And
Mm.
then Carousel came as a result to the relationship I was in with the girl who was like, "You really need to fucking move and start doing some shit." Um, it also came from me really maturing and becoming an adult, entering into the world of being an adult, realizing what it is. For people who listen to Carousel, if you really, really listen to it, it's got a double meaning. It's me. It's basically a breakdown of a
Yo,
relationship,
just in
but it
case y'all look it up, the shit's on SoundCloud, right? Is it also on YouTube or is it just on SoundCloud?
you can find it on SoundCloud and you can find it on YouTube because I made the music video to Broken Carousel. I edited that video and it's a whole creation I made. So I also do that. If you guys are interested, you can always hit me up for that too. Now the so yeah, Tech Nine was. I mean, I've always known strange music. Uh, Chris Calico was somebody I stumbled upon. Tech Nine was, Worldwide Choppers and all that. So I've always just kind of ran through that. Um, I can't even really remember when I fell into Tech Nine. He just showed up in my life. Like he just showed up, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's awesome!" And then, boom, everybody else, Stevie Stone, Ubiquitous, the two group there, everybody else now, Ritz, and then everything. So that was really that. Carousel came to become when I had to prove myself to that woman.
Who did
Um,
you record it with?
Makeway Studios with Brandon, but I knew Buds.
Hey, Makeway Studios has come up on like every fucking interview.
Yeah, real hero, real Montreal hero. Um, that song was something that okay, so I moved out. I moved out at this time in a way where I kind of moved in with the girl. She took me in, her and her family,
Okay.
and I wasn't ready at all to be living with a new family or to be living with somebody like that. She was very mature. She was very more of an adult than I was. And me growing through the process of growing up and learning to be on your own and having two jobs and trying to figure out pays and this and that. plus, you know, smoking a lot of weed, that also wasn't one of the greatest things that she would also like as well. So there was a lot of stuff that we kind of went through, and I felt like
Stop tapping.
one way to really prove to her was to write a song about real shit, real shit. And for me, it was my relationship, and it was learning about bills, the 9 to 5, learning about you know, how like fights and blaming one another, and kind of acknowledging that I may be not the best guy for her. And then just the third verse, I kind of just be like, yo, we're gonna get back up on the horse and do this. Like, I really believe in our love. I really believe that you are the one I want to be with, and you know, we'll make it out of here. Actually, because we brought it up, Throwaways 4 is actually her song. Throwaways 4 was written specifically for her. I actually spit it in front of her. We both came to tears. It was a really beautiful moment between me and her. We were in a really rocky time, and yeah, I had to get it out, and that's a really historical moment, part of Chris Chrome that needed to be said, and I don't think there was any better way to say it than on Throwaways 4.
All right, and then I don't know how many other tracks you had made before you met me, and then you met me, right?
Well, I mean,
well,
no.
I don't know what happened, but
I met you. Well, because here's the problem: Carousel came out while I met you. Like, we weren't really doing Headspace, and like, I didn't live down the block from you and a bunch of shit like that, so things were easier and grinding the way we are. But like, we've already met. We were doing What Will They Learn in the office. That's the same. Yeah. That's around the same time Carousel came out. Because when it came out, I was in your house, and you were like, "Yo, it's a fucking banger." So you were around when Carousel came out. You, I think, were actually the one who told me to record it. To be honest with you.
Did I? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
I think like I may have sent you. I think I may have like did it in front of you, and you were like, "You have to record this. Like, it has to be done."
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Move around in circles. Around and around we go. I mean, because we know that shit's not copywritten, so that's fucking fine. We can run on that one.
Performance, man. I really should have done the wave.
It's true. You all agree in a song that has a whoa. You just gotta throw your hands up. That's what I'm trying to say. All right.
Into my anxiety, like, that was literally my first actually. I did a performance in summer camp at the age of 10 where I recited, because I was the only English speaking guy there. I was the only one who could recite the final song and the opening song. So the opening song was I'm Just a Kid from Simple Plan. So I was like all up in the front with the kids in the back playing the band, and I'm there kicking, screaming, having a great old time reciting this. And then I had to play I had to do the final track because it was a full-on rap song about ending the summer. It was Will Smith's Summertime, and I was the only one, thanks to my father, love him. I was literally the only one who could pull it off, because I could actually say the words and actually have the tonality and stuff. I had to teach the girls how to go summer, summer, summertime. It was crazy.
That's a good anecdote. All right. So then,
it's
after
been like
that,
music for life.
So then, after you put out Carousel, what came next in your world?
Nightmare from featuring me and Damon.
How did that come around? You know, you got
actually, no, I'm wrong. I'm lying. Hold up, I'm lying. You know what?
Didn't you have another solo track?
Yeah, I'm lying. So the first track was Carousel. The second track was Impulsive. The third track was When I Speak, and then
Tell us the stories, Chris. She's running through it all.
That's because there's no stories. If there's a story, I'll tell you. Impulsive was actually.
How'd you even get these beats, dude?
Chris Cash the Gifted.
So Chris Cash the Gifted.
No. Chris Cash the Gifted gave me Impulsive. It was it really played with my ADHD, just the beat, the technicality to it, the whole everywhere, like it was just so crazy that I was like, yo, I can rap this. I can rap super fast. And that was like my attempt to like try to run up me, you'll run up in a basket, dash it, nasty, like that was my whole attempt at trying to really flex my skills. That actually I recorded that the same day as Broken Carousel. I had like literally 30 minutes left in the recording studio, and I was like, yo, Brandon, run it. And he's like, what? I'm like, just hit the second track. And he's like, okay. Hits it. I just did it one take. I was like, boom, I like this. This is what I want it to be. Let's go. So that's impulsive, because my impulsive nature got me to do it, and it just came out like that. And the song is also really me like being impulsive. Like I go rapidy rap. I go super, like I kind of just go everywhere like my brain. When I Speak was my attempt at a free Young Thug type beat. Kind of trappy, but I didn't want to be like in the kitchen whipping bricks, because I don't do that. So When I Speak is actually,
you are killing it at 10-year-old summer camps teaching the girls how to do summertime.
Yes, I am. So When I Speak is actually a song about somebody told me that I can build a crowd. Somebody told me that I actually have this like charismatic ability to like I could walk down Montreal Old Port, start speaking, and people will just like surround me. 90% of the reason why is because I'm loud and obnoxious. So like people just want to know out of curiosity. So it's absolutely fair, and I get that. But there's a part of me that when I'm not being disrespectfully loud and obnoxious, and I'm just being loud and obnoxious for a point, like screaming down the street like Black Lives Matter, right? That's being loud and obnoxious, but it's for a point and it's a cause.
Careful. Just be careful with what you're saying here.
No, I'm saying like some people may think it's because I'm saying like I'm running down the street screaming it, trying to get people to notice me. And once you notice me, I got some serious shit to say to you. So that's like kind of how I tried to present the song. Because in the chorus of the track, I say like, when I speak, people listen because I am loud. Fuck the fact, because I'm proud that I have the ability to gather up a crowd. Like it's about the fact that I acknowledge my obscenities and the loudness that I am, because it is part of Chris Chrome. Like I've always just been a loud kid. So that kind of was the purpose of that. But I also kind of threw in some like, there's one part of the bar where I'm like, whatever happened to the glass half empty thing. Anyway, it's a good track. It's my attempt at like conscious trap.
And you wanted to skip over it. All right, what was the one after that?
Then it was Nightmares, which we already discussed. It's basically a dream that I had, kind of reflecting my anxiety, kind of reflecting me, I guess, my anxiety towards Chris Chrome, being this rapper guy, being this persona, being on stage and all this. And kind
where'd
of
you get the beat?
Again, Chris Cash the Gifted.
And where'd you record this? How'd that come to be?
That came to be recorded by a friend through Damon, actually. I recorded it at Benji's Share. Shout out to Benji for his recording studio first. No disrespect to him, but it just didn't have that like hip hop feel that I wanted it to have, which was totally cool. I explained to him, I was like, look, it more had like this type of sound, which he totally respected, and I love that guy still to this day. So respect to Benji. Shout out to him. But yeah, I forget the guy's name right now. I apologize. Kevin Duguay, I think, maybe, yeah, guy named Kevin.
Okay.
But Damon's friend recorded it actually at his apartment.
Fair enough. That's a good tune. All
After
right.
that, there's like a bunch of chunks of the podcast that came after.
That's
like
fair.
We started, me and you started the podcast. You came to me, you're like, I want to do a podcast. We get to talk shit for, whatever, how long, and review an album. I was like, I'm super down. You pitched it as like, we're rappers, we know nothing about hip hop. I was like, yeah, that's true. I agree. This is a really smart move. I wish I thought of this. That's kind of what my life was like for about 2 years, was really just podcasting. Anything you really had introduced me to for music, I'd feature on or whatnot, that was really there, but I was more focused on like finding myself. I was also in a really toxic relationship that held me back from a lot of what I wanted to get done. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. And then came Chris Chrome's track, My Forgiveness, that was posted 2 years ago, which I guess out of the toxic relationship, I can say that that song came out, which was my track single explaining kind of like me talking to God ish, me talking to a spirit, me talking to a higher being, me talking to something that's not her, that's not the girl at the current time. And I'm just kind of asking, like, where's my forgiveness? Where's my break? Where is my moment of, like, when do I get a sorry? When do I get like an actual apology? When do I get a moment to be like, yo, I fucked up, but like it's okay. We'll get through this. You know, my forgiveness, I actually think is really, really one of my great tracks because it really touches into like me being a little bit of a not so good boyfriend, expressing that I may have played certain parts in the relationship that were very toxic, very traumatic, but I also own up to it. I also own up to my mistakes and own up to being a piece of shit boyfriend. But at the same time, I also kind of discuss, um, like what I felt she did and kind of like my certain point of views on certain things that she may have done, trying not to like really make her look like the bad guy. That's not what I want to do. I find like a lot of rappers kind of make these songs about women that paint them as the bad guy, and I'm just kind of like, my guy, like, yeah, there's women out there who act like such and who do such and such. I get that, but you can't tell me that out of 2 years she's the entire reason you fucked up. Yes, there's people who have that situation, I get that, but like, you're a famous rapper talking about fucking women, doing drugs, this, that, and the next thing, and then you're gonna come out and tell me, oh my god, you're a fucking bitch, you did this. My guy, how many times did she catch you fucking some next chick? Like, just by what you're saying, I'm quoting you by what you say. So like, for me, I'm just like, yo, I didn't really want to make her look like the total bad guy, because I hurt her in some ways too.
It's very self-aware of you. All
Yeah.
right. So, have you performed? I don't think you have any more tracks after that. I know we have a
After
whole.
that, it's actually Kick Down on My Luck, which was the last single.
Oh, right.
Series. Kick Down on My Luck was the actual song where I just felt like I was giving up on hip hop. Thought I was gonna retire after like 4 tracks. I just felt like nothing was going wrong. I literally had no food in my fridge, no food in my pantry. I was dirt broke. I had a job, but dirt broke. Hated my job, hated my life. I taking the bus ride, walking home, just suicide was contemplated many, many times. And not because I wanted to. It was just, bro, I haven't eaten in like 2 weeks. I might as well just off myself and fucking save the and like stop the pain, really.
Yeah, this got serious real quick.
But music saved me. Like, music saved me because, and not just music, but the podcast saved me. Literally, the only thing stopping me from anything was, well, there's a new album I get to talk shit about and talk shit with Holden about on a Saturday that I get to review. Nothing else in my life was really, really going good. So that anchor at one point really held me down. And then from rap, I just went into podcasting, and then my brain was like, oh, Photoshop, designing, this, that. Let's think of this. Let's make Holden look good. Let's make you look good. Let's make Bonnie look good. Let's
let's have to make Bonnie look good. Bonnie looks good.
Bonnie look good. Bonnie's the only reason we have views. Let's not even do that.
That's not entirely true. I get us views too.
I'm trying. Listen, support our queens out here, okay? So with that, there is like, that was really just the anchor, and then I needed to make a song. Something in me was itching to make a track, and that was it. Kick Down on My Luck. And the Now You Come Through part, whenever you hear it, a lot of people are asking like, oh, you're talking about a girl. Nah, it's about my depression. It's about my anxiety. It's about suicide. It's about not wanting to wake up. It's about hours of lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, counting the fucking cracks in the ceiling just to try to tire yourself out because counting sheep doesn't work. It's about the copious amount of self-medicating I did and experimenting that I did to numb whatever fucking emptiness was inside of me, and to this day is still inside of me. And you know, that's why that song had to be made. Because I know there's people out there that don't always connect to depression as just a thing. It's they see it, they feel it. And when I say see it, I mean I wrote a song that's actually coming out whenever I make my album, or I might just throw it out as a single at this point because y'all need to hear this. It's called Single Steps. It's featuring my best friend Josh. I'm just gonna call him by his first name because yes, he's CPT, but we haven't officially designed that. But my homie, the homie Josh, shout out to him, love him to death. You know, that song really talks about the toxicity of the house itself, the memories in the house that just build up. You know, waking up and seeing your ex-girlfriend walk through the house and she doesn't even live here no more. Seeing, you know, some of the nonsense, or maybe the girls you may have cheated on, this and that in the house. Some of the stupid actions, some of the narcotics and the dumbassery in the house. You know, there's times I sit on my couch by myself and I can actually see my friends around me doing lines, doing rails. I see the girls from the parties drinking in the corner. And to just be clear, let me clarify. I literally am home alone and I see this shit because it's a part of my depression. I believe it's part of the toxicity that is created within the spot that you live in. Now it's easy to say, yeah, Chris, just move. I can't afford to. I can't do. We're in a tough spot. It's lockdown. So
don't worry, CB Mac. I promise you, Chris could almost verbatim redo this whole thing on command if you wanted him to.
That is CB Mac. That's literally what Single Steps is. That's literally like you know, just because you asked, I gotta write it out. Maybe I'll find a way to drop it on.
No, but even more than that, we haven't even got there yet. But Chris went ahead and made a whole album he scrapped. That was basically him writing his reflections and telling stories. I know one of the tracks I'm supposed to be on, so it was stuck in my head, something about the 105 bus coming up on the 105, da-da-da. So, like,
I want to
tell
talk
us about that album that you scrapped. What is it, Chromtopia? Is that it? Or let's talk about also Chromtopia, both of those things.
The album is not scrapped completely. I just don't have the proper beats that I need to produce it. This album, as my first album, is basically a depiction of Chris Chrome's and Christopher Johnson's life prior to now.
Okay.
It's the main part of the career, let's say. Everything else will come in a different shape or form. But you know the conversation, how everybody's like, what are you saying on your first album? That's what it is. What I'm saying on my first album is I have mental health issues. I am a rapper. I am a kid with ADHD. I am a kid who's not known for about 13 years of his life how to actually manage his emotions or even know what his emotions are triggered by. So there's a lot of growth. There is a lot of maturity in that album that needs to be set properly. The reason why it had to get scrapped was 1, Corona, 2, lockdown, 3. It actually got scrapped twice because the first time I basically made her the bad guy. And I can't do that because I grew up and became a man and realized that it takes two to tango. Tangoing by yourself don't work. It's hard. I've tried. You're dancing with air. So I revamped the album to show it in a way where if you listen to it from front to back, it's one story. If you listen to it from back to front, it's another perspective of the story. And if you listen to each individual track, it is every part of the story, of the linear story, but individually the tracks are consisted or directed to a certain woman in my life from my past or whatnot. Certain songs are actually representative of certain women that have affected me in my life and stuff. There's a lot to this album. So you can listen to one of the songs individually and be like, oh shit. So within the whole story of Chris Chrome and this gal and this is what happened at this time. But you can also listen to the track and be like, damn, Chris was really in this with this girl one time. Oh shit, the next track is about a completely different love affair, but at the same time also fits the story. I tried to really build something with this. For any of you who don't know, Algo Cerise, Wendy is actually on the album. She's still there. She is featuring as in the middle of the album to call me as a skit and be my therapist in a sense, as my mother. Josh is also on the album. You're also on the album, not only as a feature, but as another thing.
I might, because I don't know anything about that. That's a first.
Yeah, there's a lot I need to get with this album.
We all discovered that I get to be on it twice. I knew. Are we still doing that song? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm like,
the song's happening. Because here's the problem: the song's happening, but there also is a part where you kind of need to like. Anyway, we'll get into that because I don't want to spoil that. Man. But it has to.
I have to re-record it because it's some old bullshit.
No, of course. But I'm saying like because podcasting also has the effect in the love relationship too. Podcasting was also part of my story in that, because this album, and I shouldn't tell anybody, but this album also is the start.
You should tell people.
Is to the sequel, where the sequel of the album is going to be the same length, same amount of songs, but it's the other side of what was going on. So as you get the Christopher, I'm basically pulling a Nelly when he dropped 2 fucking albums, bro.
My job is to get Chris to talk, though.
And the Gangster album he made, that's what I want to do.
That's fair. I respect that. You should
being to talk. I kind of message up with what my manager's saying because I think she might fire me.
That's fair. That's my job, though. That's all I'm trying to say. There's also nothing wrong with letting people know that you put a whole bunch of thoughts and ideas into crafting and constructing this project so that when they see it, they know that this is really impactful. Like, it's something worth waiting for. It's something that, like, really is a reflection and an introduction. And I mean, if you're going to be ambitious to go that fucking big with it, you know, I mean,
that's why that's why it's taken me forever, because your first album as an artist is what defines you, regardless if you like it or not. Yeah, you may not get famous or you may not get noticed or whatever. You might have like 6 or 10 albums before you make your first studio label, big fucking Rockefeller album, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now in today's culture, social media, cancel culture, and all this bullshit, my first album's going to come and hit me in the ass in the next 10 years anyway. So I want to make sure that my first album,
given anything I've heard in your music, nothing you've written is going to bite you in the ass so far.
No, I'm saying, like, if I decide to change or do something different and people are like, yo, look at where this and this. If you really listen to this album, I'm already telling you that I'm going to be different in 10 years anyway.
Nobody's going to think the bad things of you listening to your music, dude. People hear your shit and they like it. They're like, yo, I'm showing Chris's music to a whole bunch of people, and across the board, everybody feels it's cool. I've never once had anybody be like, "Oh, Chris is towing the line of social justice issues." You know what I'm saying? Like, you're fine. You're already on the good side of the fence.
That's the part of the anxiety that fucks with me. But yeah, no, that's
He's bringing it
I'm not
raw.
making myself sound terrible. I'm being raw. Wait,
You're
what am
doing
I
great,
sounding
Chris. I
terrible?
think this has been really entertaining. I think that you put yourself out there in a way where, like, honestly,
I love you,
uh,
Mumsy.
I'm pretty sure people are gonna watch longer because of the way that you put yourself out there. I mean, there's always, secrets
I
one
mean,
should
to be
keep in
fair,
terms of their moves, but
of course, but like to be fair, this is no different than me on the Demrick review, the Demrick
that's
and Disney
fair.
the podcast. Like if you guys ever watched the podcast or ever watched Headspace or even Classic Quest, I get like this with Holden on certain shit. Hi, Snack the Ripper made us a meme
I'm
because we got like this.
I'm just gonna say I've done my absolute best to not talk about what I know. Like, I mean, at a certain point, I like got a whole lot of behind the scenes of your
All right,
story, but
you
it's not
talk for yourself
interesting to
for a
hear me
second.
talk about all that. Oh, Chris is going away. Um, yeah, honestly, thank you all for being here in the comments. I really appreciate you making this kind of lit. This is the first time I've had this much kind of interaction going on, so super cool. I think Chris is wonderful. I've been working with him for a whole long time. He went to get a cigarette or something. He said it real
Sorry.
quick and then got up and asked me to thing.
Listen,
Uh,
this
Kelsey
is a
is
legitimate. This is one of those legitimate interviews that's going to go
Chris.
on forever.
Answer this question.
Oh, wait,
Yo,
wait.
quick question.
I'm defending myself against my manager on wax. I
You're
just watched
fine. You're fine, Chris.
our
As the host, don't
shush.
stress about it.
Just watch the 4-hour Busta Rhymes Drink Champs video. They took many breaks, many
That's
stops.
fair. But this is behind that suit. This isn't Drink Champs. Don't stress about this.
Behind that suit. So
Keep
if
in
I had
mind the YouTube audience isn't going to see this Twitch chat, which y'all should come and check it out on Twitch in the future. And actually, I will look into how to make the Twitch chat show up in the future so that future audiences can see it. But anyway, you should check out CB Mac's question and answer that because I would love you to answer that question.
what is CB Mac's question? I'm sorry.
Who is Kelsey and will not say the last name?
Who is Kelsey? Oh, you don't have to say the last name. I know who Kelsey is. Why is Kelsey in the
I don't know why.
Oh,
Is Kelsey
okay.
up in the chat?
Is she
Yeah,
in the
but Kel-
chat?
Anyway, Kelsey
All right.
is a friend of
Kelsey
yours.
is a very great friend of mine. She is. How do I say this without? Because Kelsey will come to my house and I think assassinate me on cam.
She's your homegirl. That's
She's
simple.
my homegirl. She's the homegirl. But okay, so my life, the women in my life, and I say this very loosely, and Algo will definitely back me up. The
She's
women in my
legit
life
people.
bully me and have been very, I would say, abusive to me. But I don't say this. Hold on. I don't
Chris,
say this.
careful what you're saying.
I know. People are going to be like, what? And I'm sitting here going, listen, these women are still in my life today, supporting and loving me every single day. If it wasn't for Kelsey, I'd still be a shithead. That's why I'm saying it.
She's a
Kelsey,
wonderful person.
Kelsey was there back in high school when Chris Chrome
All right,
was.
while you're doing this, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I have to go pee. You keep
Yeah,
talking about this.
Kelsey back in high school was around when Chris Chrome was a little punk shit kid. And honestly, Kelsey just kept me out of trouble. Yeah, she slapped me. Yeah, she hit me. But to this day, it's because she shows tough love. And honestly, guys, I'm going to say this. Tough love comes in all sorts of ways. Unless the person is trying to kill you and somebody's literally trying to take your life, if a friend of yours or somebody that really does care for you and really wants the best for you, they're gonna do some shit like slap you upside the head or make sure you ain't calling people names. She was keeping me in check, basically. Yeah, CB Mac. That's basically what it is. She was keeping me in check. But I think that everybody, and I'm gonna say this, I think every king needs that queen. And I'm not saying it in the terms of like Kelsey's my queen and she's my girl. Nah. Kelsey's always just been a queen, and she carries herself with that level of pride. She carries herself with that level of respect. And that is why I have always respected Kelsey. That is why I've always loved Kelsey and have always been friends. Uh, Honestly, she's probably to me, and I've told her this, she's like a secret to me. Like, she's like one of my secret friends. Cause like she's not really somebody I chill with all the time. She's
All right.
not somebody that I really talk to all the time and stuff.
So
But
she's
like
your good friend, right?
she's the homegirl. But she is somebody
Fantastic.
who like
It was just
will
a,
if
it's
I'm in the middle of speaking, Holden. God damn it.
you just
She
have to think.
CB Mac is interested and wanting me to preach about the Queens. Hold up. I'm answering and I'm giving him the answer. Relax yourself. So she literally, even to this day on Facebook, if I post some stupid shit, she'll DM me and be like, take it down right now. And I won't even question it because she wants the best for me. Oh,
Yes.
I am being polite. I'm being super polite with Holden. I love him. He knows that.
I know, but we also want to make sure that everybody's interested in what you're saying, even the people who came to learn about the Chris Crum story and getting caught up in personal details and anecdotes can go down little rabbit holes that are because I could hear you in the other room while you were talking.
Fair enough.
So I'm just saying we want to maybe not go too deep into the stuff that might be real nitty gritty is what I'm saying, you know, in that level of like in the DMs being told to take. But it's good to know that you take stuff down from the DMs and listen and respond. You know, in that way, that's real cool of you.
Oh shit! CB Mac knows Kelsey. Yo, that's wild.
No, she just
That's
added him.
wild.
That's why she asked. She added him, so that's why.
Oh, oh,
I don't know
okay.
if Kelsey's watching this, but if she is, she's a real one. I met her in real life for real. She's a solid person. She's got a heart of gold and real passion and real cool, supportive and all that stuff. Anyway, Chris, let's get back into talking about music because, I mean, that's a big part of it or whatever. But I did want to talk a little bit about Chromtopia because I heard a lot about Chromtopia in my life, and I think the whole world might want to know what Chromtopia is.
Chromtopia is everything Chris Chrome. I live in Chromtopia, which, as a personal joke for Algo, Chromtopia is like a little section in Neverland because we are the Neverland Lost Boys group. So Chromtopia is like my personal little world in Neverland, and it's everything Chris Chrome. My followers are Chrometopians. My listeners are Chrometopians. When you come to my place, you're at the Chrometopian Republic. I have minimal rules. I don't know what a republic is. Honestly, I don't, and I get called out for it all the time. Literally, Josh goes, "Do you even know what a republic is?" I'm like, "No, it just sounds cool." Literally, that's the basis for why I called it that.
All right, Chris.
No,
let's
but
do
like,
it together.
let's do it together. Learning time.
Because we have computers and we have Google. So a republic is a state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives and which has an elected or nominated president rather than a monarch. So what I'm understanding is in your world, you are not the supreme ruler.
No, but technically, this is how I spin it, right? This is how it gets fun, right? If you're my Chris Chrome fan, you've elected me as one of your rappers on your list.
There's no way you thought of this beforehand if you didn't know what a republic was.
I'm telling you I did because I've been called out by this by Josh so many times. So yeah, I'm telling you. No, it's more like a dictating republic ship. So like, I'm the dictator, but I don't really dictate what people do because my rules are simple. I want respect and moral efficacy. So I don't know how hard that is to handle. It's not like I'm asking for much. Don't come in here running your mouth, talking super shit, disrespecting people.
So as a person who's heard your like lines of reasonings, it might be like you need a better constitution than that.
Listen, I'm working on it. Okay, it's a work in progress. No, but Chromtopia is literally gonna be like it's my label. That's the idea. It's my label.
Okay.
I want to build a Chromtopia label. I want to build, you know, if I ever do make it to that far, I want to
Not
have
if, it's just a matter of when.
fair, you know, like I want my own little rappers. I want my own little group of people who believe in me. I don't really have like a legitimate movement because I know that at the end of this, that's one of the questions that's going to be asked. My whole entire persona with music and the movement is finding yourself. And I'm somebody on the journey to find myself. So all of that raw, gritty, you know, weird, awkward, stupid, silly things that you feel, you're going to get from me. The weird
Chris,
things you think in your head, you're going to
are
get
you
from
saying that the Republic of Chromtopia is not about acceptance and growth?
it is.
You've already defined it, man. You got a movement. You just
Uh,
defined your movement.
yeah. So there we go.
And yes,
Definitive.
we're building stuff, Chris. You're going to have it all. You're going to be part of our kindness rap battles, and you're going to be part of the Twitch endeavors with the interviews and getting your equity up. So, Chris, the real question is, are you going to be participating in these little rap contests? Are you going to be up there on the end of the week Zoom calls, open micing? Are you going to be entering the sphere of the online hip-hop world to let the peoples know who you are?
Yes.
Manager person, he should do this.
I will be there. I know I've been lacking. I have very many, many messages from Holden linking me to all of these things. I love you and support you for that and appreciate you for that, Holden. Thank you.
It can all be done on cell phones, buddy.
Honestly, again, and I know it sounds like a cop out, but and Algo will I hope she defends me on this. It's my anxiety. I'm scared. I'm truly terrified.
Yo, you could write entire contest verses about being anxious about writing contest verses.
I know. It's not that. It's not like I know that in my heart and in my talent and everything, I know that I'm skilled and I can do it. And I'm not going to be like I'm better than anybody. I don't even believe that. I feel like we're all great and we all have something to bring to the table. But
yeah, you'd do really well. You would do well.
I think I don't know, man. I don't like even now I'm having that feeling. Like even now I feel my chest clamping and I'm like, fuck, like I wouldn't, I don't know. Like I want to. I really do. I've been shut down and rejected and told that I can't do it. And I'm not talking about like from haters. I'm talking about people I called friends, people that I've broke bread with and like, you know, slept in my house and like gave you the shirt off my back. It's like these people were always like, yo, you're shit. You can't do this. You'll never make it. You'll never make it. And it's like as things progressed, these people still weren't believing in me. I've been called a failure and shit. So for me to get behind Mike,
just to counter that idea a little bit, failures typically aren't sitting there with 3-hour interviews.
There's that. So
and Lindell Williams certainly likes you. So you've got fans all over. You got all the support in the comments. All I'm saying is, I mean, you've been on Spotify for years. You've got tracks out for a minute. You've been on Spotify for years. I'm very aware. I typed your fucking name into the thing.
I did it. I wasn't considering the podcast. I'm sorry. I was talking about more the
no, as a music person, you've been on Spotify since 2017. I'm very aware of how long you've been on Spotify for. So like it's kind of like you could look at it like you're a failure and a lot of, because here's the thing, people close to you are fucking assholes. I don't know anybody. Honestly, I don't know anybody from my back in the day. That's the facts of the situation. Most of these people that I was poor and a loser with didn't like the fact that I'm not poor and a loser anymore. And that's the truth of the situation. So they're going to, instead of telling me any kind of real support or show any kind of love, and this has happened time and time again with individuals from my past, where it's like, I have my path, I'm moving forward, I'm making moves, and you can pretend like you're not. But Chris has been actively making moves here since fucking the end of 2016. For real. Like, if you're publishing content on a regular basis, and yes, maybe with COVID, Chris hasn't been putting stuff out on YouTube as regular.
is, like, to be real, like, I actually thought of this right now. There's an actual Chris Chrome freestyle rap battle video somewhere on the internet.
But what I'm trying to convey is, you've already accomplished more. Literally, Chris, like 200,000 views have come in your name. Whether or not it's because if it's a podcast or whatever, but
No,
that's
hold on.
like a
Let's
level of success that a lot of people in a local sphere may never ever get to hear a number like that. You have videos that have 5-figure growth attached to them, like 5 figures on them.
I know that, and I'm not trying to like disregard that. What I guess I'm saying is just more like I hold music. Fuck, how do I say this? I'm shit at everything but music.
You're not shit at everything but music.
I know that. I'm trying. It's how my brain works. So when it comes to music, something that I know I'm good at, it's like I didn't get much support, especially from my parents either. So I really do struggle with
That's
like,
fair.
do I go in front of this crowd of random people and and you know spit something that's from the heart that may stumble, that may choke, that may not come out properly, just to be embarrassed by, like, it took me a long time as a kid to get over the embarrassments of just the pure ridicule that my friends made of me.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
could
like,
appreciate that.
for that, I'm no longer standing in front of random people, and it's fucked up, right? It's fucked up because at the age of 10, 11, 12 at the summer camp, I'm out there in front of a billion people I don't even know, and I'm out there, boom, 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 boom. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like there was a time where I was king shit in my brain, and then it just died from there. And I'm a really
But like,
emotional
to to,
kid.
ar-
And
to
it
argue
got,
all of that though, King shit Chris was pretty arrogant. I'm just gonna put that on wax a little bit.
oh,
In
of
is
course, of
But
course.
current Chris isn't arrogant, and it just doesn't sound like you did something bad there. It sounds like this growth process where you took the steps towards becoming somebody that has the confidence game on lock, right? Because it starts off with self awareness. You said a lot of things tonight that show a high level of self awareness and a desire to be better and to like achieve a higher level of being in yourself, right?
Right.
And with that, sometimes you just need to legitimize it to yourself. So part of that could be making little 45-second Instagram freestyles and just putting it out there and seeing how, yeah, maybe it's going to be some dicks. You
I
remember our
wanted
comment section back in the day was pretty bad. Now
it
everybody
was,
likes it.
I wanted to say though, if you guys notice that I'm a little bit more calmer and more serious, that's part of me.
Well, when I
I,
say Instagram, I mean TikTok and Instagram at the
no,
same
no,
time
I'm not
because you may as well do both.
you. I'm talking about in terms of the interview. Like at the beginning of the interview, I was
Insta's
super
not dead. My Insta's literally growing at the moment organically off of hashtags.
I was super excited for all this, and I'm like a
Sorry,
dog.
local
I'm like,
rap Insta is not dead.
when I'm super excited for stuff, I'm like all over the place, and I sound super all blah 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 blah. But once I get into that comfortable mode, that's where a lot of serious nunk comes out, and that's part of the rawness of Chris Chrome.
Fair enough. But yeah, just on the Instagram point, something I discovered is that there's a lot of contest happening over Instagram right now, a lot of local communities, because there's not a lot of big scale things. But if Chris wants to enter the local scene, Instagram and TikTok are both places because you put the hashtag Montreal rapper, you put the hashtag this, and people are searching for that now. And for some reason, Instagram, a lot, especially with Reels, music entered Instagram in a way that wasn't there before. And so there's a lot of people right now doing these fucking videos, these minute-long freestyles, and they're posting them to TikTok and resharing them to Instagram. So given that the level of effort is like copy-paste, you may as well post to both, is all I'm saying. Plus, people will message you on Instagram locally to hit you up. But yeah, anyway, that's true. Well, sometimes you can drop stuff and you only get one heart like me because that's happened on mine. But you put up a cat thing and you get like 15. I don't know. TikTok's a weird place. I haven't figured it out yet.
Take over TikTok. TikTok, it's okay.
I want to see you. I want to see you win on TikTok, Chris. I want to see you win on Instagram. I want to see you releasing all of this stuff.
I have a group of women, beautiful women that I call family, who may be doing something on TikTok very soon with a Chris Chrome thing.
All right. I assume that you're not going to talk about that because you were vague.
Well, y'all just need to know Chris Chrome will be on TikTok soon, and there will be something very special coming.
All right. And how do people follow you on TikTok?
Well, they'll follow me when I make it. I
So
hate
you
you.
have to make the TikTok. What's your TikTok handle going to be, Chris? Is it going to be Chris Chrome 93?
Yeah. Probably. If it's
Because you
available.
want to be consistent. All
Yeah.
right. What else do you want to say, Chris? Do you have anything else meaty that you want to bring to the table? What else do you want to share with?
You have to ask me questions. I'm right now. I am vibing. I am good. I'm loving this. I'm loving the chat. I'm loving the stream. I'm loving the convo.
That's true. But as far as the story of Chris Chrome, I mean, what else is there happening? You said we don't know about the future. I mean, what else do we want to talk about here? What matters to Chris Chrome?
What matters to Chris Chrome is that everybody honestly is doing good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's safe. I got music coming eventually. It's not going to be the greatest of stuff because I don't have a professional mic, and I can't really go to Holden's right now. So I got some things coming. I've got ideas. I've got projects. I've got a podcast in mind that I want to start. I've got actually something I'm going to start either this Sunday or next Sunday. You have to follow me on Facebook to definitively get it. Depending on if I have energy tomorrow morning, I might do it. But I want to do a drawing in the morning with Chris Chrome, and I'm basically going to be the internet Bob Ross who raps.
Tell us more about this.
So my father gave me my new drawing pad that I'm going to show off to the world for my thumbnails. I love it so much. It's great. And it came with a pen, but I have no absolute idea how to use it. I've been getting better. Some of the thumbnails I've been making for you are really good. I like the things I've been learning, the aspect and the easy definitiveness that I can get from the pen and the just being very technical with it, and the more clarity behind it. They're more pristine. Headspace logo so pristine. Bars. Yeah. So I basically decided every Sunday I'm going to dedicate 2 to 3 hours of my life to basically draw whatever comes to mind. Just aimlessly learn how to use Photoshop, learn how to draw, kind of show my skills in drawing. If anybody wants a thumbnail, an art piece, a design cover, or whatever, always try to hit me up, kind of get myself out there with that. Because I was speaking with my biological mother recently, and I was like, I've always had a love of drawing, but my imagination of drawing is very out there, and it's just kind of weird. So I've always been like, never really got into it. But I figured, hey, I do graphic designing. I do all of this stuff. Yes, we can think about creating a cartoon and a voiceover work. We can always do all of these things.
What voiceover work, Chris? You didn't talk about voiceover work.
I'll go in the comments. Is from what I'm understanding, if I'm getting this correctly, we're going to be building a cartoon, me and Algo, soon, little snippets of Wendy and Pan, and they're going to be little cartoon things, and we're going to do voiceovers and stuff of our voices, and it's going to be really great. Part of why I'm starting the drawing aspect and all this. So I want to do that. Also, I read this book, How Music Affects the Brain. And I want to basically start with the drawing thing on Sundays. People send me beats and I draw to the beat, and different beats, different weeks will be different sounds, different types of genres. And I'm going to draw.
Do you already have beat makers that you've reached out to for this? Do you know who you're going to work with on this?
I have nothing yet. It was an idea I thought of last night while going to bed. I was like, that would be
it's
super
it's a solid idea.
But I am going to start like the Bob Ross type of thing where I'm going to just literally just draw, talk, and probably freestyle off the dome at any time. I want to live stream it so I can get some comments.
So you're going to do this on Twitch, right? On Chris Chrome's Twitch that he's going to have?
I was actually planning on doing it Facebook, but I guess Twitch would also be a move
So
too.
I only bring that up because I'm watching a dude that I'm following now, and he basically goes on Minecraft, right? And once you get to 50 followers, you can become an affiliate, and you can start collecting the cheddar on Twitch. So he has a little tip cup going on. So while he's playing his Minecraft and doing whatever, he engages with people, chatting, whatever, whatever. And every
Hmm.
time he gets to $50 in donations, they unlock like a 30-minute freestyle. So if you're on Twitch, you have live donations that you unlock in your ability, and if you're gonna be doing drawing, there's actually like a whole community built around that. So mixing it, like even right now, we're in the IRL section. So currently, stuff like music and drawing and all this is starting to really pop up on here. And yo, I'm telling you, CB Mac, it's fascinating. Like something I'm gonna do up on this very Twitch channel is write my acapellas on here. I kind of loafed this week, but I want to start going live once a week, writing up an acapella on the spot, fucking spitting it, and making it go, like just putting it live. And that's fair. Having no tits has definitely changes the game on social media in a huge fucking way. But basic, it's true. She's absolutely freaking correct. This is for those watching in YouTube. We got the comment because you don't have no tits, and that's fair. That is exactly what happens. But it's gonna be a slow grind on this end. But I wanna just start writing the raps and literally like recording it and like fucking putting it on DistroKid live on the stream kind of thing. Like there's just so much potential, and as long as you don't play beats and you can work around. I mean, beats is complicated because of copyright, but if you used to come around the instrumental point of view, that would basically be the way to move on online and streaming platforms, because beats is because the thing about beats is what could happen to you. I've honestly I've tried to have Bonnie on with me, but they still just see me right there and then they click away. It's not the same as just having a girl there, because when the boyfriend's there, the fantasy is not the same. Is all I'm trying to say. Um, but basically, where I was going with it is, if down the line, let's say a beat maker sells that beat and then somebody exclusives it and fucking slaps it on, your video could get hit with a copyright claim like a year later. Because like a lot of people just got slapped on Twitch for like 3-year-old videos. So I
For
love
sure.
your idea. I'm just saying be a little bit careful with that. But still, yo, you should be live on this because Chris, everybody knows you got the talent to make this happen. It's just big facts with this situation.
No, for
You
sure. It's
everything you
something
put out, people like.
it's something I've actually wanted to start doing because, especially with the lockdown, I've been spending a lot of too much time escaping the reality of things by playing games and not putting enough time into being creative. And that also really affects me with my music, because if I'm not creative, if I'm not doing other creative things, then I can't create music.
Um,
So
I
like
mean
for
that's
me,
fair.
like I can bust a freestyle while I'm playing, Destiny, but a lot of it is like, yeah, see me triple jump, headshot to the dome. Guardian on the lockdown, can't stop me, it's chrome. Guardian Titan, bubble shield, me, Hunter, throw knives. Cause like, I'm doing whatever it is in Destiny. So I can kind of do that, but like, and I'm with CB Mac, man. That's a lot of milkshakes to make. But if they bring people to the backyard and they want to hear me spit, let's make some milkshakes, man.
That was a reference to a conversation about female anatomy happening in the comment section right now, which you probably can't see if you're watching this after. Because keep in mind, at this point, with the people that are here, that's the live, and everybody else watching this is on YouTube after the fact and not with the chat here.
Fair enough, fair enough. But
Um,
that is up
but
up to
what
now. There is more throwaways coming. Uh, I guess I should let everybody know. If you haven't caught on yet and realized for the first set of throwaways, it's gonna be an EP. Um, it's called Throwaways the Room. If you guys haven't noticed, um, I'm
I
in my
don't,
room the whole thing.
just in
So
case you wanted to know, it's on his Spotify, which you can find links in description, I think.
and on my SoundCloud, and yep. So it's the way that I don't know if you want to get into this or not, but the throwaways projects are basically thoughts and ideas that I've manifested while I trap myself in my room for about 2 weeks and refuse to come out. And that's the whole premise of the EP of that. So once I get throwaways 6 out, I will be putting out Throwaways The Room EP out, and then I will start the next Throwaway series, which will be 7 to 12, but that'll be another EP.
Fair enough. And just so that y'all know, because I was sitting right here while he recorded them, they're acapellas. Honestly, this was an idea I had. No offense, Chris. I'm gonna take credit on this one. Where it was acapellas because I was sitting there watching the CEO of Spotify talk about how he basically wanted you to treat Spotify like a social media and feed the machine, right? And I'm sitting there going, damn, I need something that doesn't require engineering, right? End of the day. So I'm just sitting there going, maybe acapellas. Like, we just run acapellas and just fucking pop these guys off. So I started doing his weekly acapellas, and I'm like, Chris, you need to claim your Spotify, because contextually speaking, at this point, Chris had not actually released anything as an artist to Spotify. And let's say somebody else showed up and said Chris Chrome on Spotify. They own the name now on Spotify, which complicates Chris Chrome over here's life down the line. So, and this is recent. Like, we recorded these right before the most recent lockdown in Montreal, which is about 2 months now we're in lockdown, and a month and a half we're in the middle of lockdown. So right before October, middle of September, I think we recorded these, maybe August, whatever. And yeah, it was just to kind of be able to feed the Spotify machine and grab that real quick. And then so it's kind of like minute to 2 minute, maybe a little bit more, kind of just a little freestyle-esque, honestly more spoken word than I would say like rap. It feels more, that's the goal of them, is just kind of spit some stuff.
My goal was to have, and it was an attempt at spoken word poetry. I know that spoken word has a certain technicality to it, but I was trying to put some Chris Chrome flair on it, because there is some passion behind a lot of my lyrics that I'm saying on these throwaways, because these are things that have actually touched me, absolutely manifested in my brain and really developed me who I am today. So that's why I really wanted to focus on like the lyrics and really just cut out a lot of the beat, because sometimes
let's be real, Chris. Let's be real. We made this because we didn't have beats. That's why we did this. I'm saying this because I know this series came to be because we had conversations.
I also had we being real, but just to kind of cover this, I'm down for a cipher. CB Mac, I'm down for a cipher. I've been wanting to do throwaways for a while. I just never had any passion or reason to do it, and you boosted me that. So I give you credit for all this, and we don't have beats, yes, but throwaways has been an idea.
I'm just saying,
for a while.
Logistically, this idea, I remember how it manifested. You may have content-wise themed your shit. Fair enough. I'm not trying to take that away, but I'm like, I know part of the truth of like, and I was involved in many years of your story.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know what else to say, dude. It's over 3 hours. I'm not really into stretching shit for the sake of it. So that's why I'm going to say again, do you have more you want to talk about and share with the people?
For right now, you can catch me on Twitter at ChrisChrome93. You can catch me on SoundCloud at ChrisChrome93. You can definitely catch me on Facebook at ChrisChrome93. Spotify is just Chris Chrome. You can hear the throwaways on SoundCloud.
It's not just Spotify. Chris is on all the stores as Chris Chrome.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Also, like I said, guys, you know what? It's 8. It's like
Yo, hold up. For old time's sake, hit Chris up on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter and send him a little tweet showing him that you actually followed him on Twitter. Because we spent fun little anecdote. We spent about a year where every week Chris would say this at the end of his fucking podcast, right? At the end of every yo, they're gonna say it this time. They're gonna do it this time. Follow me on Twitter. And it never happened. Now, I'm not trying to say like I'm cooler. People barely, they don't really talk to me on Twitter either. So my Twitter's not lit or popping. I just want y'all to follow Chris on Twitter and to give him a little tweety poo. Let him have CB Max on Twitter. He can make that happen for you, Chris. He can make that happen. Bring your dreams to life. Anyway,
but there's gonna be more throwaways. There is most probably not tomorrow. I'm not gonna do the drawing in the morning with Chris Chrome. I'm gonna have like a different name for it, but I am gonna try to do it for next weekend. And yeah, catch me that on Twitch live stream. I think I'm just gonna
Don't worry,
draw
Chris. We can plan it out. You know my favorite thing to do.
planning. And also, yo, Holden, what are you doing now? Like after this?
Food. That's why I'm trying to end this. I'm hungry.
All
I'm
right,
like,
set.
like when you watch Joe Rogan and Alex Jones talking, and like Alex wants to keep going, and Joe Rogan's like, "Dog, I'm fucking hungry." That's where we're at.
Send me the behind that suit Twitch stuff so I can log in and Twitch for tonight. I'm gonna
I
probably
don't know
play.
about that. We'll talk about that more in the future.
All right, well, I'm gonna go play games then.
Cause yeah, I mean, there's a lot. That's a bigger conversation than just log it and go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
I'm ambitious though.
I appreciate the ambition. And yo, thank y'all for coming through on the chat. Thank y'all
Before
for watching this. We're gonna do our outro bit now. Appreciate y'all being here for real. And for those of you watching on the YouTubes, you know what to do. Hit it up, twitch.tv/behind that suit. Or I guess if you're on one of the other platforms. Anyhow, let us know what you think in the comments, YouTube people.
I got one thing. So I beat CB Mac in the record because it's 3 hours and 3 minutes.
It's not it's whatever. It's gonna be about 3 hours and 15 after editing ish.
All right, okay. So I'm pretty sure I beat CB Mac.
Because I'm
Now
cutting out that pee break.
Right. So now that we have that, we have to beat this record, and I think it's only fair that all three of us, me,
Dude,
you,
we have a lot of interviews coming. We'll figure it all out in its due time. Don't be going ahead and booking me up more than that.
I'm trying to include Mans here.
CB Mac, he's definitely gonna be back. We're definitely gonna make that happen. All of you, don't worry. I have about 20 names to talk to in the next couple of months.
You're amazing. Honestly, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for everything. And Holden, I miss you, bro. Honestly, I'm glad to see your face. I'm glad that you're safe. I'm glad to see Bonnie. And
that's why we need you up in this contest grind. Because behind that suit's now offering interviews as prizes in other people's contests. That's what's up.
Weight to lose.
That's fair. That's a good contest to enter. That's not the point. Yo, for real though, for those watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Because, yo, this is not the last interview. Chris lives very close to me. I'm just saying maybe we even do it in person sometime. But honestly, it's kind of easier doing it over here, like over the Twitch. I'm not going to lie. I'm like fucking lazier like this. I kind of like it. But, yo, before we bounce out, special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadansi, Chris Prada, Jonathan Barnes, CJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Scribble. They're dope. They support what we do. If you also want to support what we do, you know what to do. Links in description. That's just how it goes. And you can, get involved like that. Show some love. On top of that, I make music myself, as you probably figured out. Chris is on 3 of my albums. And fun fact, Chris is on track 3 for all 3 of my albums.
I'm wearing pants.
That's fair. But yeah, so you can check that out, and you can listen to Chris Crumb's features, and including his most recent release, which would be the brand new track Dreams of a Team, which we might even be banging out some bullshit little cell phone music video to in the next month or so. That's right, Chris. We're going to make a little music video. So anyway, on that note, I don't have a lot more to say to y'all. I mean, we could keep going, but again, I'd rather just do a part 2 is all I'm trying to say. And I appreciate everybody.
Here it is.
If you guys want it to be like a 7-hour thing, we're gonna have to start much earlier in the day. But in the meantime, live long and prosper, motherfuckers.
Meet me on Twitter. Tweet me.
Bye bye.